radio impulses into space.
Did you think it was? The signals are broadcast as radio impulses into space. And all bets are being heard on every radio telescope on the entire
How you doing, people? Welcome to the stream. Please tell me you can hear me. There's no volume here. We need to do this first. Tell me that's not too loud. If it's too loud, kind of tough. Yes, there's a YouTube video there. It's got all the soundtrack, all the stuff and things. People, it is update 47 PTS patch notes reading. Oh my god, we're going to get some stream hijackers coming in day. We're not, because we're going to nuke them. Oh my word. 70 months. Ravicus Maximus has been here for 17 months. Aren't you bored yet? Thank you very much indeed for joining. I just knocked my monitor out. Look at that. The screen's gone. It's not an earthquake. I just knocked my fucking screen for some stupid reason. Yes, we will. Yes, we will indeed. Right. CGI Shadow, Unforgiven Car Park, Dark Seraphina, DJ, Smooch, Conjured Samurai, Odin, Turtle Swatter, Coyote Astronaut. There you are. I nearly did it without stuttering. Buddha, Bland, Ravicus Maximus, Mike Maker needs a shout out in the chat. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Who is that? Gravy as well. Thank you very much. Zoom in, bro. Zoom in on your mum. Burn, let them burn with fire. Thank you very much indeed for the resub. Massively appreciated. Skellington, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Is that music too loud? Is it over me? Is it too loud? That's all I need to know. Not a little bit or not a bit, not a bit, up a bit, down a bit, down a bit, down a bit. No. Yes or no. That is the amazing Tony Silver. She just finished her stream. Give her a shout out. And I just got coffee as well. It's good? Excellent. Right. Quick disclaimer. No? Brilliant. Tatus, what? How you doing? Quick disclaimer. I can say words. This is a live reading of the patch notes, so I can address these to you, and we can talk about them openly as I go. Okay? If anyone jumps from one stream to another, to another, to another, and starts mouth breathing and stage hijacking about what they heard somewhere else and tries to get ahead of me, they will be timed out. I don't care if I upset your feelings. You've already broken the rules. Don't stage hijack. We're doing this live. It's like watching a movie and shouting what happens at the end when everyone else is watching. Or someone's reading a book and you get ahead of them and start telling everyone else what's on the next page. It's very rude. You're the problem if you do it. Don't pretend to be offended. It's your fault. Anyway, now we've got that out of the way. I was bored for 1 second and you told me about Conan, now Dune Awakening, so not lately. Aldrin, thank you. The dragon has spoken. He's actually the Dragonborn. Thank you very much indeed. Massively appreciated. Hijacks will be eaten first. They will. You know the rules. People to fight doesn't get from scratch. If you kill the Dragonborn, you'll take their place to stream. I have to kill you instead. As you may well be aware, Update 46 wasn't that long ago. Update 47 is now hitting PTS before Update 46 has even gotten out of nappies. So we're going to do this fucking quick. Now, obviously, there are still builds being updated on my website. You can keep an eye on that. I will try to get some out on the channel, but obviously, you know what happens. Stupid people in the internet exist, okay? So as soon as I release a build video now, which might have potential changes in the future due to patch notes that are now live on PTS, the test server where things get tested, there's going to be an army of shit canoes going, well, that's going to be shit next patch. That brick wall prevents content from being made, by the way. So what I will do instead, if I don't have anything that will negatively affect it from the PTS notes, obviously I will be releasing videos. Outside of that, I will update their written guides as I'm doing an overhaul on the website anyway. A fucking huge one. I'm 6 weeks into it already and I've still got a fuck ton to do. But keep an eye on the website. Put website in the chat, make sure you're following it. Also, they will be cooked and served. Good Buddha. Good Buddha. We're looking forward to some new stuff. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what to expect based on the fact that there's a lot of changes. Not necessarily massive ones, but some of them are. Don't care if it won't work next patch. 10 patches from now. Does it work now? Great. Yes, exactly. So now you're playing the game. Now you can enjoy it. When you get home from work tomorrow and you have... let me turn this down ever so slightly. If you get home from work tomorrow and you have nothing to do and you think you can put a build together for a night and play it for 2 or 3 months, do you think that's worth your time? Or should you sit there like this? It's going to be bad next patch. And do nothing. Fucking dumb, isn't it? Plus, those builds normally aren't fine with any patches anyhow. They are. But, anyway, what I'm going to tell you is this is kind of expected. Update 46 introduced one of the best features that Elder Scrolls has ever had. Okay? Which is subclassing. Arguably one of the better updates since One Tamriel. However, with it, over time, would obviously see some issues. So they were prepared for that. They knew that was coming. And as normal, they have to evolve patch per patch. And they're seeing the issues and seeing how they can resolve it. Because obviously some things are going to be broken as fuck. It's written in stone. It's going to happen. Chances are it'll still work after the patch. Pretty much. Some of these things will scare you. Don't shit your pants yet. Not yet. Instead, throw money at the hype train. Because I've got subs... Oh, ouch. My average subs is normally around the 1,000 mark. That is now down to 346. We might not be able to pay the rent. That is low. Moving on. Let's see what we've got. So, we're getting 2 new dungeons, as you may well know. And Battle for the Riving Wall, quests, siege camps, world bosses, world cult invasions, etc. are being introduced here. And obviously, base game, we've got some new stuff. So we've got unidentified survey reports, Infinite Archive, Vision Reroll. Yes, there's a new feature being added to Infinite Archive. Compass improvements, swimming mounts, dodge roll visualization updates. So better visuals for that, so you can see it's happening. Make sure it's working. Make sure you should be dodging right now rather than going, I definitely did. Dark Stuff in with the bits. Thank you very much. That will definitely help towards the 1 million bits goal. We are 188k in. Thank you very much. Replay quest dialogue. So if you didn't hear what they said properly, instead of going care, and then nothing happens, now you can do it. The care button. Cyrodiil Vengeance testing round 3. Ooh, they're advancing. They're trying some more stuff out on the thing that already worked that they were trying out. HG Wells, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Housing. New homes, new furnishing, obviously. Swim mounts will be no matter for... I will be there for no matter what. I think... Swimming mounts, I will be there no matter what. Good. Known issues, obviously, read through this stuff if you are on the PTS, because otherwise you'll end up reporting stuff that they already know about, and that's a waste of time. Don't be Deadclaw, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. And by the way, you need to make sure that you do actually report bugs and use it for the purpose of testing, not for the purpose of practicing for 6 weeks and then shouting world's first on Twitter. because that obviously never happened, and nobody ever takes advantage of the PTS for that purely. Ever. So it's a good job it's never happened. I'm just making sure it doesn't, because you never know. Blue, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Loads of improvements that we're going to go through. We're going to get to it. Right, let's see. This is going to get mental. Some of you are going to go, oh, fuck. Don't worry. It'll be fine. 2 new dungeons that we can't see until we go onto the PTS, so we'll talk about those more later. But there are new skins, new styles, new mementos, a new die, several titles being added, and Battle of the Riven Wall is a unique event that unites Tamriel on a mission to combat the Worm Cult and destroy the Riven Wall in Solstice. You may have already seen it. It's the big wall. The clue is in the title. The event progresses through 3 phases, with more activities becoming available as the event continues to the final battle approaches. So lots of people were like, hey, we're knocking the wall down in update 47. No, we're not. They never said that. They said 48. But they are allowing you to do something, this update. So phase 1 and phase 2 of the event are available for completion. Travel to Solstice, support the fellow siege camps on the front lines, or provide supplies for the war effort from Sturk, is that his name? On the mainland. Completing Fellowship camp quests, killing Daedra and cultists, and invading sites and clearing hostile siege camps and dark anchors will advance event progress. It's a bar of sorts. Anyway, that is adding to what we already have. The big one comes at the end of the year. Siege camps and quests. So you've got new event. Where the fuck has this gone? New event intro quest available. I'm not going to zoom in, by the way. I'm reading this live. It's kind of the whole point. If you want to see it, go look it up. This will tell you how to start the quest. You can practice this or test it on PTS if you want to. I'm not going to go over every single part of it, but there are new story quests, new intro quests, and new repeatable quests tied to this event. Just trying to come up with a name for my character. How's like, what character is it? Welcome to the stream. Crest Reward coffers are available for repeatable quests that support the war effort, which may include skill style fragments, which is caltrops, bone caltrops, Wormrife style pages, Wormrife Hajimota Hatchling, so pet, and also Fellowship of Sturk motif pages. So motif, pet, style, and skill. Siege camps are available. World bosses in phase 2 are available. And of course, the Wormcart invasions invading mainland Tamriel. Certain delves and public dungeons are populated with invading forces of Wormcart. So expect to see stuff in the base game. Now, compass improvements. They've included more detail about distance from objects that are displayed. Mount swimming, your trusty steed shall fear water in Tamriel no longer. Mounts have been trained to learn how to navigate water after 11 years. Your DK or Nightblade haven't decided though. Tell me what it is. Allow you to traverse Tamriel in new ways. Tamriel, not Trammel. Dodge roll visuals. The changes new visual indicator to convey the increased cost of stamina dodge rolls. Or stamina cost of dodge rolls in quick succession. So, if you're not familiar with that already, it's not a very obvious mechanic. But if you dodge roll too close to a previous dodge roll, 4 seconds, you will have increased cost for the next one and so on and so forth until you basically run out. It's quite harsh. Kind of like Streak, where you use one too close to another and it costs you more. Well, dodge rolls have been like that forever. There is a visual for it in your buff and debuff timers, but most people don't know it exists. So they're altering that to make it a bit more obvious. What horse is swimming? What horse is swimming? Do you mean which ones? Or do you mean, oi, what? Horse is swimming. Hi, Case. How do I say your name? Like that? Brilliant. Never thought I would see the day. Why? Because you're asleep all the time? Replay quest dialogue is new. That means that when you didn't hear what they said properly, like Case over there, that you what? You can say you what? By pressing a button, which is handy. Especially when you're talking to an NPC. And someone goes, look what I did. I want to put it on the fridge. I want to put my macaroni owl in the fridge. And I fucking missed every single word they just said. Thank you very much. You can repeat it now. Did another funny? I did. Vengeance obviously is going through stage 3. Obviously they had to give you the very bare bones to start with, then add on top of that and it'll stagger eventually. But there's new stuff. So, various systems have been turned on for this testing round to see what overhead they could contribute to overall performance sky shards. Mount sections along with collectibles allowed in Cyrodiil. Titles and achievements have been re-enabled. So they're messing with performance. And stuff from Hubby Trouble in that respect will come in handy. That will indeed. The way Cyrodiil ought to be, exactly. Meat bag catapults are back. However, they no longer leave a ground lingering effect and only affect players on impact. So splat, you got hurt or you didn't. So get out the fucking way. Stacey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Mages and Fighters Guild lines have been added, again with tailored abilities for performance. A new armor skill line has been added, which includes all 3 active abilities for light, medium, and heavy tailored for performance. So again, they've tried to thin this out as much as possible, but introduce slight bits and pieces of each one. Rambro, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Used to be a horse swimming in the water, but then I took an arrow to me. I'm sure you did. Get some coffee in first. Thank you for the resub. I bloody need that. My average subs last year, well, do you know what? For the last 8 years, we're kind of hovering around sort of 7 to 1,000, sometimes even much, much higher, but around 1,000 mark. I'm currently sitting on 346. It has dropped a lot. We are struggling, people. Twitch Turbo is killing streamers. Let's fix it. In fact, I'm going to give you a date for some of it. If I can manage it during this week, I'm going to put discounts on that. At the moment, I can't, but I will be able to later. New furnishings, new homes. Can't look at those at the moment. They're amazing. Template information. This could be on the NA server, so your NA characters that you have at the moment will be there to test with, or you can just delete them and make new ones on the PTS. Don't do that on live. Known issues, obviously pay attention to these. If you have any of these issues, don't report them because there's no point. They already know. Anyway, Rach, how you doing? Rambo, thank you for the sub. Let's get through the introduction first before everybody panics in the face. Greetings. That's it, we're done. It has officially been... Bland, thank you very much. What a legend. Kick. It has officially been an entire update with subclassing in the wild, and we've been closely monitoring all the fun and wacky antics unfold in its wake. We know there's a lot of discussion over its impact in the game and how it could potentially change a lot of things moving forward, namely game balance, obviously. Paul is too good, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. But we're going to continue to watch as data comes in and solidify this brave new world. This patch will be relatively light with balance adjustments on classes, since we're still discussing a lot of potential ways to move forward and waiting to see how behaviors, sentiment, and engagement change. They know things can go bad. They are ready for it. Igneos, I can never say your fucking name properly. Igni, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. You can't even say hello anyway. Put a Y in it. It's Jello. Right. What the fuck did I get to? This period is critical to ensure adjustments in the new subclassing era are done right for a positive play experience. Imagine that. Imagine trying to make things better. You right yourself? Not too bad. Being light on class balance still means that there is some. We still have a few adjustments, largely aimed at correcting some of the less ideal behaviors we're seeing with passive slot effects. Abilities like Grim Focus and Bound Armor are often being used purely passively, granting more power than we're happy with for how simple they are being used. I.e., everyone's using Nightblade because of 400 weapon and spell damage. They don't want you to do that. They want you to take advantage of that stuff, but they don't want everyone to default to one thing. As per with the Elder Scrolls Online, anything that becomes a popular default, or people assume is a said best, will get adjusted because their design is to not have one. Their design is to have billions of possibilities, and it's up to you what you do. But if they see an influx of the same old shit, they'll change it. Anyway, where do we get to? So we're going to do some gentle reworking on what they grant. In this update, neither of these abilities nor their morphs will grant unique, unnamed effects for slotting. Instead, they'll be granting major or minor effects to ensure they're still helpful, but not in the same way as before. Additionally, we're taking a stab at ultimate generation and how high it can get by converting many unique ultimate sources to major and minor system. This will mainly be expressed in the form of class passives like Mountain's Blessing or Savage Beast, where these passives will still grant the same amount of ultimate as before, but over the duration and unable to stack with other sources of effect. So basically, instead of burst ulti regen, you will have it staggered over time. Like using a skill line for the just the passives, correct. Because the devs don't want a best in this game, or shut up with your, but every game has a best herder bullshit, every game except ESO, correct. Because the devs actively work against there being a best. Hello, motherfucker, to you as well, Black Hammer. Correct. They want to make sure that there are an abundance of choices. That is the design of their game. And where the fuck did I get to? Read that already. So I've seen a couple of these. Don't panic just yet. And before anyone tries to get ahead of me, there's already a disclaimer at the top of the screen. Don't get ahead of me. I will explain. Outside of this, you can expect 2 other main initiatives to in this patch. Where the fuck did I get to? Regular bug fixing and balance pass on some of our item sets. This update will be doing a pretty hefty number pass on our trial source sets, where we try and better reward stack-based sets for their more restrictive requirements, while also lessening the delta between those who can utilize them perfectly and those who struggle to get good mileage from them, i.e. Reliquin, for example, you need to stack up to 10 light or heavy attacks in succession and maintain it, otherwise they won't stay. That is a risk versus reward, very heavily skill-based setup or set. Risk versus reward. If you're skilled, you can use it. If you're not, you can't. Meta will be dead. There's no such thing as meta in ESO. There never has been. It's just people trying to force it to be a thing because they feel relevant in front of an audience that isn't theirs because they came from a game where it belongs. Lots of people like to play linear games where there's just this step to this step to this step, and that is the goal, or else this game is horizontal. So what people do is they feel uncomfortable when they come into a game that they don't understand, so they shout cool words to make themselves look cool. So, I mean, that'll die? No, it won't. Because unfortunately, there's always going to be stupid people trying to force you to believe that there's no choices when there are billions. It's a common thing, right? You'll get a game that is straight up vertical, and this is the only way to go. And people are like, whoa. Thank you for what you truly do for the ESO community. You are most welcome. Thank you very much for the money. Rav has just dropped $50 on the chat, people, and slapped the Dragonborn in the face. Thank you very much. I'm going to press the ninja button at least for that. Woo! Thank you very much. Need that today. Fucking hell. Been a mess. Because, you know, I won't lie, dumbass will always be dumbass. Yes, right. You've got a vertical game with just one way, right? And you always have these edgy fuckers going, oh, man, imagine if you could do this. Or imagine if you could do that. Or imagine. Imagination. Brilliant. I love the imagination on that, kid. Well done. Here's a game with billions of options. You've got unlimited choices. Nah, there's only one way. It's bollocks. Fuck you then. That sort of thing always deters me away from group content. Enjoy solo. Companion for the win. Fair enough. Look at that smart. It is what it is. And the sooner you understand that, that particular individual is just another character in the fucking story. They're not relevant. You can listen to them if you want entertainment, or you can bypass them if you want to get onto the main quest. Do the same in real life. Outside of this, you can expect two maps. Read that one already. Read that already. Between the two, utilize them perfectly. Here we are. So get good mileage on them. The two main ways we'll be achieving this is building some amount of power into a passive effect. The other will be through lowering how many stacks you need to reach them to be worthwhile. Most cases results in buffs for reaching their upper limits, while also making them more consistently viable by allowing you to reach those limits. Because reaching 10 is a fucking chore for someone that can't light attack with a bow while getting out of World Shaper. Imagine that. Imagine a skilled player not being able to keep up light attacks at distance. Oh wait, you got double melee. My bad. Outside of these initiatives, we'll continue to lurk and watch over the discussions and experiences you get into, while we formulate on how to best deliver on improving the gameplay experience Tamriel has to offer. Happy reading, safe travels, and hope to see you in Tamriel. Thank you very much, Jacob, for the sub. Grab's tips there are amazing. That fucking helps a lot, because subs are shocking at the moment. I appreciate every single one of them, especially Jacob's just there. But my average is normally a lot higher. It's about a third of what it should be, on average. So Twitch is suffering right now. So if you do want to give subs to your friends, do it. Oh my god, 50% of the tips goal. Right? 50%. It's a life-changing one, that is to get out of a lot of trouble. Combat and abilities. Let's go, people. Remember, don't get ahead of me. Update the visual effects of dodge roll to better convey ramping stamina costs and rolling multiple times in quick succession. We knew that. Thank you very much. Many fear sources have been updated to no longer place 2 effects on you while under the influence. A fear effect and immobilization to prevent you from moving around. So if you're feared and immobilized, you end up completely fucking stuck. You got to break free and dodge roll. Anyway, fear will now handle both occurrences in one, resulting in a case where some interaction with passives and sets will change. Block no longer fails if the required source was gained while actively bracing. So if you have a stamina increase, for example, a passive or something kicks in and it gives you resources back, but as the hit comes in, you didn't quite have enough to fire the block, it would normally just fall off. But if that lands at the same time as the hit does, you will still benefit from it. It used to block or drop the whole fucking thing, and it's a bit messy. It was kind of intermittent, and it was in extreme situations where you're really fucking low, but it just wasn't lined up properly. Block no longer fails when using channeling or cast time abilities while bar swapping and re-inputting the command. So you can apply a block as soon as you swap. That was falling off. Mr. Zono, good time zone to you, sir. Oops, caps. Zim the Bard, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Fixed an issue where some effects in your buff tray and character sheet could appear as if they had multiple stack counts, even when they didn't. This occurred mainly on the effect with stack count ended. Their stacks would not properly flush and instead appear on the UI in the next line. That happened for a lot of boss effects as well. Fixed an issue where some abilities could set your health to full when activated in very specific and rare cases. Those who know. Did you see what that was? Those who know. What they're doing is saying, we know you've been exploiting. We know who you are. We can't be bothered to ban you because we haven't got enough time, but you've been busted. So it never goes unseen. Imagine if they kept doing stuff like that. Then they get nuked. Fix an issue where some transformations, ultimates could surprise you upon completion, interrupting your abilities while causing them to go on cooldown. That was something that they should have fixed in the previous update, and for the most part they did, but there's a couple of outlying skills that didn't quite line up with it, so again, fixed. Interacting with certain doors no longer prevents your character from being able to use single target abilities against targets. Some doors are better left unopened. That happened to target dummies. Eventually, a target dummy would have to be put back in the box and then put back out again. Otherwise, you couldn't hit with individual light attacks. All the nerfs would be for Update 47, or are they applied now? Nerfs is the misused term. Adjustments. It's only a nerf that's completely nuked for no reason. They do have reasons for it. They had no reason to unslammed it. Different story entirely. But anyway, it's quite clear that this is for Update 47 for the test server. So there are things that they are trying out right now that aren't set in stone yet. However, here's an example of nerf, okay? Azure Blight was changed recently. They altered it so that in PvE, it's actually pretty good. And they had reasons for it. They altered it, adjusted it, whatever, so it's decent in single target, but better with bigger pulls, and it had a limit on it. When they went to PvP, they just made it not work. That's it. So that's different. That's a nerf. Part of it is a balance, part of it is a nerf. The rest of it is... it's different. In here, it's about adjustments. If anything is just, by the way, we're taking this away because we want to. That's a nerf. There is a difference in the terms. So there was a health glitch. There was a health glitch and people were taking advantage of it, yes. Assassin's Dispatched, indeed. Dark Brotherhood notified. Good. Right, where the fuck do we get to? Fix an issue where temporary summon abilities could cast and drain resources even when their summon would fail to spawn due to being at the pet limit. This affects the following abilities. Summon Shade, Sacrificial Bone, Skeletal Mage, Spirit Mender. Basically, there's a pet cap, obviously because people can have fucking hundreds of them, and people were being charged resources for trying to cast something that didn't fire. Again, fixed. Following passives grant unique forms of ultimate. Get ready for this, people. Will they nerf BFG? Shut up, Rash. No, of course they won't. They'd have to adjust it. They can't nerf BFG. What would they do? Just delete the character? Because that would be a nerf, wouldn't it? Like, you're gone now. Why? Because. Oh, brilliant. The following passives granting unique forms of ultimate when meeting their conditions have been converted, get ready for this, to grant major and minor heroism to prevent them from stacking with one another. The total amount of ultimate granted will be identical, but will not stack with the additional sources and will take more time to generate. Subjective. Because you could have minor and major heroism from your group already, and then have your ulti regen on top from your class. Technically speaking, that's not the same as you would normally get if those situations were present. If you were in that current buff loop. So, no. But, individually, if you didn't have someone else doing that, yes, you would generate the same amount. So, that's nitpicky, but also true. Mountain's Blessing now grants minor heroism for 1.4 to 4.5 seconds, with a 6-second cooldown rather than 2 to 3 ultimate once every 6 seconds. Well, now you don't need to apply Heroic Slash on a tank, for example, if you were to use that, because you've got minor heroism anyway. However, you have minor heroism and you don't have Mountain's Blessing, so it's not exactly the same. It's only exactly the same if you don't have any extra modifiers. Anyway, transfer now grants minor heroism for 1.5 to 3 seconds with a 4-second cooldown rather than 1 to 2 ultimate. Again, that can stack with other people's minor heroism. Get ready for this. Get ready for this. Don't panic yet, but get ready for this. We had a good run. We had some fun with it. We had fun. Catalyst. I do think they're going to adjust this. Now grants major heroism, which is pretty fucking good for 15 seconds. That's high. Rather than 30 ultimate when you pop a potion. This also means that the ultimate will now only generate in combat, but you can still activate the effect out of combat, however. Let's say, for example, you had major heroism and you were popping a potion every 30 seconds. You can have glyphs and all that kind of stuff. Your ultimate regeneration would have been huge. Now, if you have major heroism already, it doesn't stack. They're taking away the need for classes to put minor or major heroism on the group within reason. So it's going to make some things redundant. Some sets are going to be less useful for their 5-piece bonus. For some, depending on the situation. What they're doing here, when they say it's going to be the same amount generated over time, is true if you're solo, if you don't have those buffs present. But if you do have those buffs present, you got nuked a bit. Hi, Zone Ninjas. Damn, I'm late. You are. My tank can do ulti regen for the group. Good for you. So can mine. Put Malcolm in the chat. Put Feed in the chat. They're both designed to do that. They bounce off each other. I actually had someone in my channel a long time ago constantly telling me about how to make ulti building necros. And they were using my build the whole time. The whole time. They went, no, it's different. Mine's not called Malcolm. Oh. It happens. Prism now grants minor heroism for 3 seconds with a 4-second cooldown rather than 2 ultimate with a 4-second cooldown. Savage Beast now gives you minor heroism. We're going through this, right? DK, Nightblade, and Warden, and Necro, and Arcanist, and all the classes have basically had their ulti removed and replaced with a minor or major buff that you could get somewhere else. Repels of Elephant. No. Anyway, this is minor and major heroism. Ready? They're going to say words. Let's see what they're saying and why. Bear in mind, this is just week 1. They can change anything at any point in time. This is usually the baseline for their testing, and then they adapt outside of that. Over time, Ultimate has become more and more accessible to players, greatly increasing the frequency in which these combat-altering abilities can be activated. I'm going to stop them there for a moment. That is actually true. It's supposed to be an Ultimate, not a spammable, and it doesn't feel Ultimate. I will say that much. It doesn't feel like an Ultimate ability if you can use it every 3 fucking seconds. That is true. Anyway, this has allowed for strategies that hyper-focus on generation of this resource to amass and creep over time, creating cases where some ultimates can be activated incredibly quick. True. We're going through many sources of ultimate and converting effects over time for major and minor systems, so they still offer powerful bonuses, which they do, but with much more controlled ceiling. We've started with class passives in the effort to make it harder to stack their effects with subclassing in mind, while also trying to mitigate the need to gain this effect from things like scribed abilities or consumables. So you won't need it for potions, which means they're lining up potions soon, and you won't need it from scribe skills, so then you got other options that you can take advantage of. The only issue so far is that they are messing with something that does actually already actively overlap with some people's set choices. So, again, they can argue that that's a choice, but if those choices are presented in front of them and they are taken, then some of it is going to double stack and not actually double stack. So, their account for this problem is correct, but I don't think they've approached it 100% accurately at the moment. However, with it being the first week, I do see them changing this as they kind of gauge what's happening with this particular alteration. Maybe they had to do this as a baseline before they start going further. Then let's remove the ultimate slot and put anything there. Howdy, Zone Ninjas. Juno Rex, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. We'll see where they go with it. I don't think that's the end of it. Sounds like fun detected nerfs needed. Not at all. Not even close. But they've underlined a problem that is present, or is prevalent even, and that is that you can spam ultis really, really fast. If you put Malcolm and Feed together, it's fun. It's really fucking fun. But you can spam ultis. I've seen people just spam Destro ultis one after the other with not even a 10-second gap. It's fucking crazy. Again, I can see what they're trying to do and why. It doesn't feel like ultimates are ultimates. It feels like they're just built up spammables. But minor and major, I don't think is the answer. But we'll see. Even Ninjas, have you talked about the things happening to the stuff? Yeah, I'm getting there, dude. I'm doing the stuff now. Look at this. Read this word. stuff. It says spoiler, bro. It doesn't say spoiler, bro. It says spoiler. And then hide. Alliance War, support, barrier. Replenishing barrier. This morph no longer grants ultimate to the group. When the shield ends, instead it will increase... Let me start again. Instead, it will increase the magicka restored when the shield ends to 1200 to 1500, up from 700 to 1000. So this is based on which level of the skill it is, obviously, because it starts low and goes higher. Basically, fuck tons of resources back. So it's a 50% increase on what you get back without getting ulti at the same time. To be fair, while that is fun to get the ulti back, and it is nice, I see a lot of people, more often than not, using it for the heal. So it's a difficult one. I don't think that's going to be massively impactful unless they were spamming it, in which case it is. But then you can't do that now anyway. So if you can't spam it, this is going to be, oh, well, fuck that. Fighters Guild, Expert Hunter, Evil Hunter. The damage bonus granted for this morph now applies to damage and effects of Torchbearer. That is still something I think they need to look at, because it's a bit clunky activating that skill to make your next Fighters Guild stronger. Especially with the cost, it's a bit... Make it more passive. Like, while it's on your bar, increase Fighters Guild ability strength. I don't see the need for it. I mean, if you're going to activate it, sure, but make it a longer duration. Make it like a 10 or 15 second duration of all Fighters Guild skills hit harder, and then just increase the cost. Make that cost, I don't know, 3.5, 4k, and then give yourself a 10-second buff. Things happening to stuff, and the stuff's happening to things. They are indeed. Mages Guild. This is a killer. It's still fucking good, but it's a killer. Meteor, Shooting Star. Now, I've said this on my channel loads of times. I'm going to abuse it until they fix it. And here's my problem with it. Meteor, listen carefully. If you've got half a brain, you'll understand. If you're salty, you won't. Meteor is relatively cheap as far as hard-hitting ultimates go. It applies an area of effect direct hit. It applies an area of effect high damage over time, causing fire. It causes a knockdown and stun. It gives you Mages Guild passives if you have them for Empower, 2% increase magicka, and 2% increase recovery. And not only that, it's for all the targets, and you get ulti back for every target you hit. You cannot find another more front-loaded fucking ulti in the game. That has been abused for years, and they've took way too long to adjust it. Anyway, they have hit it. Shooting Star, this morph now ranks down in cost to 185. Still bloody cheap if you're talking big ultis. The ultimate generation now grants 10 ulti per enemy hit, up to a maximum of 6. So you can still get 60 ultimate out of it. So technically drop a meteor, hit them with a very cheap ulti afterwards, rather than 9 to 12 per limit, per target. Amber Daylight, thank you very much. Massively appreciated. Beer and Cake in the chat. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for subscribing for so long. I need to catch up with a lot of subs. I'm on 350 right now. I went down a lot. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but thank you very much. You're the Dragonborn. Then I'm going to carry on.
Fight. Dragonborn.
So, what they've also done is they've made it so that this hits 6 people, not unlimited. So no more dummy cheese. Yeah, because you could spam it with loads and loads of dummies. No more over-the-top spamming in big cluster situations. It's still OP as fuck. I still think it's way too front-loaded. 10 ulti per target is a lot. Like 60 on impact? Fuck me, that's high. It's still going to be one of the go-tos for fast ulti building while doing ultimate damage. But honestly, that, while it's been adjusted, sure, and there's a bit of a hammer to it, but it's still OP as fuck. I think that's fucking overdue. I like the skill. I've been using it for years. I deliberately use it because it's that bloody strong, but that is overdue. Probably still going to adjust it. With how many sets of playstyles there are, not sure with ultis being spammed is a problem, but I don't work as well, so maybe they know something I don't. I'm sure they know something you don't. That's why they're there, but ulti spamming is an issue. Now, I've built builds to do that on purpose, but it is what it is. The feature's there, the ability to do so is there. But when it comes to situations where you go into PvP, for example, or even, not so much in PvE, because they don't really give a shit. If you're overpowered, you're overpowered. It's fun. But in, like, competitive play, when you're up against other players, when someone's just spamming permafrost, 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 and nothing you can fucking do, they got to do something. Do you think that adding swim amount in the update, whatever it is now, will make getting around the world too easy now? Too easy? No. Way shrines already do that. Way shrines, in my opinion, and this is not necessarily a popular one, but this is from ever since release, experiencing this and doing this for a living all day fucking long every day for the last 9 years, I think way shrines make the game feel smaller. I think there should be less of them. It's too late now, but there should be less of them. But will it make it feel too easy? No. I think people will get stuck less and frustrated less and log off less. I need leveled Mages Guild. Looks like I missed out. No. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Shooting Star should be a bit rarer to use than it currently is. So we're putting a hard cap on this effect on the standard of 6 enemies rather than 100. Realistically, there are very few cases where more than 6 enemies grouped up with a 5-meter radius of one another, so this shouldn't hurt its effectiveness in general play experiences. Disagree. This is mainly to make Master Mob Shepherd a little less powerful. I mean, it is what it is. It's reduced a bit in effectiveness for that purpose, but it's still pretty fucking OP. I don't think people are going to separate from it. I mean, it's not even flat out swimming with a mount. It's about just the damn puddles. It is. You run through the fucking forest and you go, hey, bloop, ah, get back on again. Yay, bloop, ah, for fuck's sake. It will help. Because mages are so nerdy. That's what they do, dude. They read books. Class abilities, Necromancer, Gravelord, Flame Skull. Resolve the issue where the corpses generated from this ability and its morphs could not be replaced, causing you to quickly reach the summon limit and be unable to activate other summon abilities. That was a problem. Rambro with the gifted subs, thank you very much. You are a fucking legend. Got my feet wet. It's not being able to swim across a narrow river is annoying. It fucking is. You are a legend. Thank you very much indeed. Massively appreciate you. Now it's a 33 on the channel. Let's fucking go, people. I have a lot of subs to catch up on. That is a big help. Thank you very much. If we dared to run through 3 inches of water, the horse would get out there. We are out of the trenches finally. Yeah, pretty much. Everyone has the same issue with that. Anyone that's ever played Elder Scrolls Online for more than a week understands fully that it doesn't make sense that you jump in a puddle and your horse goes, don't like water. Fuck it. Want me to walk around? Yes, please. No. Now you don't have to. No walking around for you. Get wet feet. Their hooves, actually. Whatever. Nightblade assassination skill. Anyway, this one. Flame Skull, Flame Skull, Flame Skull, Corpse, Corpse, Corpse. Was counting as pets. You couldn't launch pets. They fixed it. Grim Focus. Get ready. This ability in its morphs now grant Major Prophecy and Savagery. 12% increase to crit chance while slotting on either bar. Back bar or front bar. What about Oaken Soul? It's already got it on the ring. Nice try. Doesn't work anyway. This part is where people get confused. Crit chance is still sometimes in the game not underlined as a percentage. Sometimes it just shows the numbers. There's a slight decimal in there that they mess with, and they usually go up in scale, but it's 219 for 1% crit chance. Mike Macon has just dropped some bits on the channel. Thank you very much. Mike Macon is one of the only people in the world that has the Xynogaming Gold Ninja Star from bits. That is worth 500,000 bits. Yes, he bought a car, basically, to put bits in there. Dark Surfina as well, thank you very much. The bits goal is now at a whopping 190,000. We're going for 1 million bits, people. Now it's a thinner thread. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She's going to die. 300 from Turtles Water, thank you very much. Someone's trying to get the Dragonborn. Who wants to be Dragonborn? Someone's taking it. Get it, chat. Amber's still hanging in. How the fuck is she hanging in? She's got 1 health left. Do it. Get her. I'll wait until it happens. Hang on by her fingernails. Someone stamp on them. Ah, that was rude, wasn't it? She's got a healing staff anyway. Grim Focus. The abilities morphs now grant Major Prophecy and Savagery for being on either bar. These abilities no longer grant increased weapon or spell damage per stack. Oops. Additionally, these abilities now play their special sound effects when reaching their activation conditions. Thank you very much, Mike Macon, for the gigantified emote. Shady McMilkman just nuked his own missus to take the Dragonborn. Can you believe it? She tried to heal herself as well. Oh, she slapped him. Let's go. 192,000 bits, people. 192,000 bits. Now, you said rude because he took Dragonborn, but which one is rude? Because he took it and then you just went straight away. Straight in the face. Shady got assaulted. He was helping her and she slipped. Then Shady got assaulted afterward. The betrayal, indeed. Relentless Focus. This morph now ranks up in cost reduction since there is no weapon or spell damage granted per stack any longer. Instead, this morph reduces the number of stacks needed to activate it to 4 down from 5. So that's been altered. So they're trying to encourage you to use it more actively as a passive for crit, but overall for firing. So use it or lose it. It's like your emergency damage or emergency heal. So yeah, rip 400 weapon and spell damage. Goodbye. Shadow. Because you know everyone was slotting it. I was slotting it. Everyone's fucking slotting it. Shadow Cloak. This ability in the Shadowy Disguise morph now grant minor protection, 5% reduced if damage taken, for slotting on either bar rather than major prophecy and savagery. So they've swapped that over. They've added the tanky Rambro with the bits. Thank you very much indeed for slapping Slady. Slapping Shady in the chops. A bit like us sometimes. My Blade of War is quicker than the resto stuff. Fair enough. Thank you for the bits. We are on 193,000 of a million, people. Let's go. Shadow Cloak is in the defensive line, the tanky line. So they've given it minor protection. And Assassination is the damagey line, so they've given it major savagery and prophecy. So now it makes more sense. Anyway, if you slot one from each skill line, you get both bonuses. Dark Cloak. The bonus healing condition from this morph now requires you to be actively bracing, holding block, rather than not moving. The healing duration from this ability is no longer influenced by Dark Veil passive. That is fucking fantastic. Still waiting for the patch notes to tell us we can farm at our player houses.
Winning. I love winning.
So,
Drinks all around.
thank you for the follow. Dark Cloak currently, if you don't stand still, you don't benefit from the big heal. The second you move, you fucking lose it. You just get the smaller version. Now, if you're moving while holding block, you still maintain it. So, they're forcing one mechanic. The fact is, you have to block in order to take advantage of the big heal, rather than someone just standing there and being hard. But they're also allowing you to be mobile as a tank and still benefit from it. That's actually pretty good. That's not a bad change at all. Daedric Summoning. Bound Armor. Get ready, Sorks. Get ready, Lazy Sorks. Already been hit once with this shit. Notice how I'm not quitting my job all scared, by the way. Oh my god, it's all over. When I stop doing this, that's when you should worry. Did a sneak attack? He did. Bound Armor. This ability and Bound Aegis morph now passively grant major resolve, which normally comes from Stormcalling. But this is a kind of defensive line, because this is where you've got your normally minor protection and minor resolve, your damage shield and all that kind of stuff. The music stopped. Why you stop? Continue. Yes, continue watching. What the hell? Anyway, for slot on either bar, you get major resolve, so that's fucking easy. Rather than granting minor protection, which is reduced damage and increased magicka. Bound Armament, this morph now has major sorcery and prophecy, which is crit chance, rather than having an increased maximum stamina. Oops. So, no more stam for flat damage. No more magicka for flat damage and resources for just being on the bar. Instead, the armor one that offers you the protection when you activate it and block will give you resolve, and the one that fires the daggers gives you the crit bonus. Kind of naughty. I mean, it makes sense, but taking away the mag and stam is quite harsh. Anyway, Dark Exchange, Dark Deal. This morph no longer grants minor force. This morph now grants... oh, wait. This morph's minor berserk is... Let me read this again. No longer grants minor force. This morph's minor berserk is no longer half as long as the base ability. So, fucking rip. Lightning Form. This ability and its morphs now grant minor force while active rather than major resolve. So, they've given you the resolve bonus here to just be active at all times, passively on either bar, rather than having to constantly reapply your resistance buff. That is not necessarily a negative. Most people that use Lightning Form in either one know that it does damage, but it always fucking runs out. Admit it, people. How many Sorks out there make their fucking Lightning Form, regardless of morph, run out? You don't time Hurricane properly, it runs out. You don't time Bound as Storms properly, it runs out. And let's face it, you only use it for the Major Expedition anyway. But for it being on here, it just has to be slotted. Your mum doesn't time it right. Major Resolve on Hurricane Rip. This is true, but everybody does it. It runs out. Now it's never going to run out. You're not going to have that gap in your buffs anymore. So, sure, you'll lose it from here, but the skill will still do what it does. And for activating it, you'll get minor force. So, you don't need a Beast Trap anymore. Unless, of course, you want to take advantage of the dot and the pop. So that's one skill less that you need. Now, granted, obviously this one is a crit bonus, so if you wanted to fire the daggers, you'd have to sacrifice your resolve and find it elsewhere. But with scribing, you can take advantage of that anyway. So the one skill that you do remove, you can now replace with something else. You can see where we're going with this. Kind of bummed that Magnet Stand being removed. That is kind of poo-poo. But then it is such a big buff, I think they've decided that, do you know what? You've got an increase the maximum of 10% extra damage overall just for starting a fucking fight. You've also got extra weapon and spell damage for every skill you fucking slot as a sorcerer. I think they thought it was too front-loaded to just slap it on there and get all the bonuses from it. Over time, they decided to nuke it, because no other class has anything that high. Technically, the Nightblade does when it comes to soul magic, what the fuck it's called, but siphoning even, but we'll see. Dark Magic, Dark Exchange, read that one already. Resto abilities, here's one for Amber. Blessing of Protection, fix an issue where this ability and Blessing of Restoration's morphs, healing, and buff application was twice as long as intended. 800 milliseconds delay instead of 400. So it takes a while to get to the target. Combat Prayer, fix an issue where the heal and buff application this morph was instant rather than having its delay. Because it's supposed to go across the floor. It's supposed to kind of wave. And this was hitting instantly, and this was taking too fucking long. Berserker Strike, Rage, this morph, crowd control immunity now works as intended. Nothing major there. That did not work properly. Major Heroism, buffs and debuffs, reduce the intensity and volume of sound effects from this effect. Okay. Scribing, Grimoires, Banner Bearer. Adjusted the combination effect of Class Mastery Script as an Arcanist with this Grimoire. This effect will now only generate Crux if you have no Crux active. You know what that does? That means that if you have Scholarship... Wait, if you have Scholarship, you won't get the extra Crux while using one Crux building skill, because it's already active. So what they did there is they decided BFG is too OP, so we're going to take one of your Cruxes away. So, technically speaking, you won't need the class script on the banner, and we'll just replace it with something else, like heroism or something. So you'll just have to do 2 tentacles. Don't worry, we'll find a way around it. Anyway, let's have a look. I wonder how this is happening. Are you ready? Time to quit the game. It's not happening for a few months yet. They might roll back on it. We're toning down how passive Crux generation has become since this combination was introduced. Crux was designed to play a central role to the Arcanist rotation, whatever that means, because it's broad, anyone can make anything up. And most of its sources are built on taking actions with an active cost or reacting to events outside of one's control. Passive forms of Crux tend to have a limitation on their activation. Crux Weaver requires taking damage with a mild cooldown. The Tome Bearer's Inspiration requires you to have no Crux, which we're already using. Both limitations are done to ensure you cannot purely passively generate Crux. Well, you should have told us that before you told me off for it. Or that it take... Hang on, there's an or. Or that it takes an extended period of time to do so. Banner Bearer has disrupted this significantly, causing a sharp increase in performance for the Arcanist above any other class. Despite also generating a plethora of other impactful events, with this reduction, we'll continue to look at creating a compromise effect if you do have a Crux active, so this combination doesn't feel like a complete loss in power. Listen carefully. Light attack, tentacles, light attack, tentacles, light attack, beam. Just like the original BFG, just do that instead. It's not live yet, but instead of tentacle, beam, just hit, hit, beam, hit, hit, beam. You'll still hit like a fucking truck. Badzai. This is a fair change as 90% of all high DPS builds have most damage dealt by beam. That 90% is made up. So making Crux generation less powerful, I think, will make things less trivial. I mean, it's trivial in words, but it's not trivial in content. It fucking is fun as fuck. But the beam is not 90% of the damage. If the beam is 90% of the damage, they're not doing a lot. Because there's loads of other stuff you can do as well. So I need to sit on Naughty Step a little bit. BFG is not 90% of the damage doing beam, although it fucking shreds. A large proportion of the damage is actually the tentacle that gets fired in between. It's like 25% of the fucking damage over that. Zai being silly called out. Zos flicking through Zai's builds, let's change this. No, because my builds are shit, remember? Nobody uses them, nobody needs me. I need to get away and stop playing the game. That's what the internet said. So it's obviously not that. But I like the banner glowy circle. Damn you, Zos. Keep the banner glowy circle. You can still get your direct damage out of it. Just change your fucking script. Change it to something else. Or... No, I'll save that for later. Secret Ninjas, keep your ears open in Patreon chat. Patreon in the chat if you want to join. The button's there. You're going to pay for it. I've got stuff for you. Rich was like, BFG needs reducing. Indeed. But like my banner, you can still keep it. Just change the thing. Anyway, moving on. General, shall I just say it anyway? No, because I'm low on subs. So I'm not telling you shit. I have the brains doing the thing. We've updated many stack-based items sets to grant a portion of their bonuses up front with no conditional requirements or grant more bonuses per stack while reducing their maximum stacks. This is in the effort to ensure that they offer consistent power bonuses. This also means some have seen an overall reduction in power in efforts to reduce their ability to outshine other sets in gameplay. Balance. See, no best. This is case by case point, however, where many sets have also been generally buffed. Bear in mind, there's lots of risk versus reward type sets. Loads and loads of skill, loads of reward, fuck all skill, nothing. They want to kind of bridge the gap a little bit and make it so that if you're really OP, you still get loads out of it, but if you're not, you can still use it. I mean 90% of all the broken DPS builds use Beam. Not necessarily. 90% is a big number to make up. But lots of people use Beam, yes. Those builds are most of the damage dealt by Beam. I think you misunderstood anyway. Yeah, but you said 90%. That's not accurate. God, I'm having a fit. I can't spell. Dude, I can't even speak. I get face typos the whole time. Samsung is affecting my speech. Unless you've seen 100% of DPS builds, it's not the one shared by content creators. This is a made-up number. It's harmful to the community. Yeah, exactly. It's a made-up number. It's 91%. Obviously. I'm joking. Don't worry. Crafted sets. You don't need to worry about your spelling. I can't speak most of the time, let alone fucking spell. When I read this stuff and someone use a really obscure word, I'm like, and then it's case by case point. However, yeah, I do that. I skip it sometimes. If it's a really long word, I go, Bob. Crafted sets. Highland Sentinel. This set now passively grants up to 986 critical rating when wearing 5 or more pieces. You shouldn't be wearing more pieces. This set now increases with crit rating by 443 per stack with 3 stacks maximum, rather than 357 per stack with 10 stacks maximum. Maximum crit reduced to 2315, down from 3570. Moving reduces your stack count by 1 rather than half of your current stacks to avoid rounding confusion. So it's still one of those stand the fuck still, you get loads of deeps, move and you don't, but they've altered it. It's not quite as impactful as it was before, especially for dummy humpers, and it's not quite as shit when you move a little bit. Dungeon sets. Phoenix Moth. Please don't touch this. It's on the Lazy Sork. The minor... No, it's not. Oh, it is. The minor force granted from this set no longer breaks when paired with other minor force sources and now grants it effectively properly. That's not going to affect anything because it's using fucking Oaken Soul. Looked at quite a few, but not 100%. Rush of Agony. Oh, fuck it. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. All right, I'm going to look. Ready? Rush of Agony. This set no longer pulls enemies to the caster after its delay, but instead creates an area of effect in the initial location, pulling enemies to it. So, fucking convergence. The warning visual effect of this set activated have been greatly increased in order to help improve counterplay. This is for PvP. I think if you're in PvE, you're probably standing where you want them anyway, so it won't be too negative, but come the fuck on. That was a cool effect. Anyway, you can see why, because you can't dodge it. We're making a change to this set to correct some exploitative behaviors in high load situations, or when paired with specific abilities that allow the caster to move quickly from place to place. The pull will retain the same timing as before, but now leaves a notable error effect on the telegraph on the warning for enemies that incoming pull in efforts to aid counterplay. It's so people can get out of it in PvP. It's not going to affect its application in PvE, you're fine. But still, I thought they were going to absolutely fuck with that. Again, counterplay, fair enough. It needs to be countered. There should be an opportunity with any move in PvP that you can fight against. Like, if someone's hitting you, you should block. If someone's swinging, you should be able to dodge roll. If someone's got a cleave, you should be able to walk out the way of it. If someone's got something that's insta-lock and pulls every single time without fail with this 8-second timer, bit much. I don't like the idea that they've... do you know what? I'll cancel that. I hope they've still got the visual animations for the pull. I hope they've still got that. Anyway, moving on. Masks, Balag, this set now requires you to be in combat. I should fucking hope so. preloading that while in stealth is naughty. PvP sets, Netch Oil, fixed an issue where this sets snare and immobilization immunity reactivation for a short period when crowd control immunity ended. Oh, reactivated, you got fucking double dip. Oops. Trial sets. Bear in mind, if you understand the design of the Elder Scrolls and you don't listen to people that complain all the time about how they think it should be, this will make a lot of sense. If not, then you're probably still full of shit ideas. The game is designed to be accessible to everyone. It is designed to have a mixture of simple or difficult content. And again, accessibility, it's open for everybody. So if you're not that good and you want to play something really, really simple so you've got more time to play mechanics, you can. If you are really, really fucking good and you want to play something more complicated, then of course you can do that too. You can do whatever the fuck you want in Elder Scrolls Online, and they don't want anything to be a said best. They want it to be risk versus reward setups, sure, but they don't want anything to be set in stone, you must do this or else. So they will adjust things accordingly, especially when they see issues. Some of the underlined issues are people get stuff that they can't use, which is, it's a skill issue, it is, but if there's too much of that, they try to line it up a little bit. So that people that are really, really good get bigger rewards, but people that aren't very good still get something. Moving on to trial sets. Arms of Reliquin. Fixed an issue where the cooldown for this set was shorter than listed in the cooldown, than its listed cooldown. Reduced the damage of this set deals by 2%. What can you do? Besides Mania, this set now grants up to 10% damage done against monsters and reaches its cap at 50%. Magicka, rather than up to 12% damage done to monsters while reaching 0. Hear that? 10% damage done against monsters and reaches its cap at 50% Magicka, rather than 12% at 0. Meaning, Buddha's already said it, manageable. You don't have to micromanage your shit and force yourself down to be almost 0 in order to get the most out of it. You don't have to rig any particular setup to do so. You can play it actively and just maintain a healthy bar. Which means even from the starting point of having, I don't know, 2 or 3 skills cast, you start elevating your damage much earlier. Beautiful change. That's a good one. That is a good one. Berserker Warrior. This set now passively grants up to 986 crit rating when wearing 5 pieces or more. Shouldn't be wearing more. This set now grants up to 298 crit rating per stack with 5 stacks maximum, rather than 241 with 10 stacks. Maximum crit rating is now 2476, up from 2410. 3-piece bonus now grants crit chance as well, rather than weapon and spell damage. So the crit chance on this particular set is way up, and its activation to get to max is way faster. So if you're really, really good, you'll maintain it all the time. If you're not very good, you'll get to that kind of point a lot easier, and you'll have less of a rough time if you keep fucking it up. Can you zoom in to make it a bit easier to see? I cannot. The point of me reading this is that I'm reading it out loud. If you want to read it yourself, they are the notes are on the forum. So go Elder Scrolls Online forum on Google and just click on the PTS part. If I zoom in much further, for me, I'm not gonna be able to fucking see it. It's gonna be like this in my face. Coral Riptide. This set now grants up to, I am saying all the words, up to 200. The other reason for that is because if I zoom it in too far, someone else is going to tell me to zoom out. We'll never get anywhere. Anyway, this set now grants up to 525 weapon and spell damage and reaches its cap at 50% stamina. Much like the Besai set, they've considered the fact that people don't want to run out of absolutely everything to get the most out of it. Instead, they've made it so that while you're using your resources, you benefit. Now, rather than up to 740 weapon and spell damage, obviously, there is a dip, but you don't have to go so low. So it's not quite the same as this, but you get the idea. Now, you know full well that this is still going to be utilized on heavily influenced stam builds and just have a couple of Magicka builds to keep that bar down, which would be smart, but it's a lot easier to manage. So you're not worried about the rush of agony change with tank build? Sorry for the delay with the ad. No, I'm not. Mark JPVVA, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Destructive Mage. The set no longer causes the enemy to be marked to be susceptible to a heavy attack damage, or to heavy attack damage, so it can no longer trigger off of ally attacks. This also means multiple wearers can apply the set to the same target, increasing the damage of the explosion by 13%. Wait a minute. This set no longer causes the enemy to be marked. Key word there. They should have highlighted that to make it a bit more dramatic. To be susceptible to any heavy attack damage, so it can no longer trigger off of ally attacks. This also means multiple wearers can apply the set to the same target, increase the damage of the explosion by 13%, decrease the cooldown of applying the mark to 3 seconds down from 4. So, effectively using heavy attacks over and over and over will allow you to constantly do extra damage with Destructive Mage. Before, it was a mark, and then other people could fire it for you. Now it's not a mark, and you all get your own. So, multiple heavy attackers in the same room can go bang, 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 bang. It's pretty good. Cooldown being 3 seconds, make sure that that doesn't actually apply every heavy. Technically, it might. No, it won't. It won't apply every second. You love that build? Good. Mark GPVA, have a ninja button again. I didn't press it before. Dolores Arena updated this set's tooltip to be more concise about how it applies, including its 2-second delay before stacks applied to the target, which was previously missing in the tooltip. Increase the duration of the stacks to 5 seconds per stack, up from 2 seconds to ensure its grace period between application. 5 seconds is actually a bloody long time if you're applying stuff. It allows you to swap bar, maybe get in a couple of skills, get in and out of a situation. 2 seconds is fuck all. Excuse me, especially to someone that is all muddled up. Caspian's Cruel Signet. Increase the damage per sword by 32%. Good, because honestly, it was a bit shit. Obviously, that's build dependent, because you can build for lots of weapon and spell damage, or low. Even with high, it was a bit pants. The damage bonus granted when a sword is applied is no longer removed when a sword ends, allowing for the bonus to persist when fighting more than one target at a time. That is a good alteration. Not just because it's increased, but because it wasn't high enough. It was a cool visual, but it was a shit set. Harmony and Chaos. This set now will grant up to 200 weapon and spell damage when the wearer has 5 or more pieces. Reduce the weapon and spell damage granted per stack to 88, down from 135. Increase the duration up to 15 seconds from 10. Mild alteration there about application, use, and duration. So, easier. So they had to drop it a bit. Okay. Sororia. This set now passively grants 200 weapon and spell damage when wearing 5 pieces or more. Reduce the weapon and spell damage per stack to 44, down from 63. So, it's in a spot where you can still stack weapon and spell damage, but if you're shit at it, you still get a bonus nonetheless. That's where they were talking about more experienced players or better skilled players can get more out of it, but people that aren't very experienced will still get something. Technically speaking, that's up to 10, so that would be 630. That's going to be 440 instead. But you've got 200 here, so actually that's a buff. With that being 440 with the 10 stacks and that being a 200, that's 640 instead of 630. So if you're good, slight buff. If you're shit, you get points regardless. It's kind of a head start on what it would have been before. Because before it being 63 a pop, you would have needed at least 3, almost 4 stacks before you start seeing any benefit. Now you get that up front. Recovering Convergence. This set now prevents you from generating overhealing charges while activating the synergy. Prevents you from generating overhealing charges while activating the synergy. Okay, so that was a very short window there. But basically you need 100k overheal in order to get the bonus. And it looked like it was still stacking it while you pressed it. Raw and Opportunist. This set's 2-piece bonus now is weapon and spell damage rather than penetration. I mean, fair enough. That one buffs the target with everyone else hits harder, so why do you need more pen? Twice Fang Serpent. This is going to be awkward. His set now passively grants 2.3k pen when wearing 5 pieces or more. The set now grants 660 offensive pen per stack up to 5 rather than 544 up to 10. So that's previous. This is obviously lower. The same as Sororia. This set 3-piece bonus now is offensive pen and max rather than max stamina. So up front you've got more pen to start with. Up front you've got more pen to start with, and the stacks are less. Overall, again, if you can stack them, you're going to have a little bit more. But if you are not stacking them very well, big bonus up front. So Sororia and Twice Fang Serpent specifically so far, and of course Destructive Mage, are in a spot where just using them for their purpose, even if you're not very good at it, will still reward you. Well of Depths increase the damage to the set by 3% in total. That's the definition of a buff, by the way. They didn't even give a reason for it. They're like, yeah, it's up. Now, if that was the opposite and they just reduced it, that would be where you can definitely use the word nerf. So if they say it's lower by 3%. Okay. Is there any more words? No. So Trying to get more people to use older sets. Not just use older sets. Trying to make more difficult to use sets more accessible. Gotta go wishing you funsies. Thank you for watching. Yunder's Might. This is a clunky one. This set now grants 129 weapon and spell damage for its perfected bonus rather than pen. It was a weapon and spell damage set, actually. So it makes sense. They're trying to line these up. There's no point having weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage, pen. No, pen sets have pen. Crit sets have crit. Damage sets have damage. It's making things consistent and standardizing them. This set now grants 86 weapon and spell damage per stack up to 5 times, rather than 41 weapon and spell damage up to 10. Technically speaking, that's a buff. Maximum is now 430, up from 410. Fully charged heavy attacks consume all stacks and grant 136 weapon and spell damage per stack, up from 63, for a maximum of 680, up from 630. So in the past, you could get 1,040, whereas now you can get a metric fuck ton more. You end up with a decent amount on top. So it's not a huge difference to the people that are obviously very good at using them. Is an impact nonetheless, but it is a rather substantial push to those that aren't. So they've made it more front-loaded and a little bit over the top at the end. Bob and Weaven, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm late, but my Discords have been full of PTS patch news. Yeah, I'm not fucking doubting it, dude. I bet there's all doom and gloom and oh my god, the game's dead and we're gonna quit and go play Final Fantasy. Fair enough. Welcome in. People, if you like the show, don't forget where the sub button is. I have dropped dramatically over time because Twitch is shooting us in the ass by making everyone buy turbo so nobody gets subs anymore. Get a sub. You get emotes for it. New sets. Okay. Honestly, I thought they were going to hit Reliquant a bit harder. I thought they were going to give us like a couple of stacks up front, need 5 in total, must maintain light attacks every 4 seconds, but they didn't. Max health, max stamina, automatically block for 2 seconds at no cost when being when you are being heavy attacked. The shit tank set.
Winning. I love winning.
Wait, there's
Drinks
more.
all around.
Listen very carefully to this one, because this is where things can go wrong if they haven't already adjusted it. Thank you for the follow. This allows you to block automatically for 2 seconds for no cost when being attacked by a heavy attack with a 12-second cooldown. Now, the Restoring Light passives in Templar allow you, while using a channeling ability, to automatically block for 2 seconds while channeling. So technically speaking, you can heavy attack and block for free. So if you're heavy attacking a target, you're blocking. If they then heavy attack you at the same time, you're still blocking. You can get 4 seconds, if you line it up very carefully, of blocking during that period of time. So you can heavy attack a target that is heavy attacking you, the channel will protect you and so will that hit. Which means over a 15-second period of time, if you were smart enough to do so, you would end up with 4 seconds out of it, making only an 11-second gap. Or you could stagger it and get it in between and end up with like 6 or 7 gaps of 2 seconds at a time. That's kind of nasty. That's going to be quite hard to break through people's protection if they're smart enough to do it. Also, if you build ulti really, really quick, you can put a block ulti in between there and make that 7-second gap between the 2 individual passives, or the set and the passive, actually have no gap at all. Imagine that. Literally perma-blocking by not blocking. Oh dear. Anyway, who's that with the sub? Japan, all the way from actual Japan. It's a bit woolly, but these have great potential. They do. If you sit there and go, there's only one play, well, you won't even look at any of this. You go, ah, shit. But if you consider the possibilities that there are some really funky ways to make some really cool builds. You know, the people that don't tell you what they're using, but they beat you up in Cyrodiil anyway. And what's he using? Must be a cheat. No, just smart enough to figure out how to put stuff together. Anyway, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. That is the whole of Japan subbing right now, by the way. Black Gem Monstrosity. 1-piece pen. This is a monster set, by the way. 2-piece. While in combat, casting a soul magic ability, which does include scribing, by the way. You consume a soul gem and gives you a black gem splitter for 10 seconds. 6-second cooldown. Dealing light or heavy attack fires the black gem splitter at your target, dealing 17.1% of your target's maximum health as magic damage, up to 17.1k. Okay, so doing soul magic consumes a soul gem, gives you a buff, You fire it, it does 17k damage. And that can happen once every 6 seconds. Interesting. English in the chat, please. It's an English-speaking stream. We have to have that rule. Otherwise, even if your message is nice, some people may abuse it on purpose. Anyway, it's a soul magic weaving setup. So if you do soul magic light, soul magic light, soul magic light, once every 6 seconds, you're going to get 17k damage. Bear in mind, that will scale, obviously, off of the target's health. Up to a maximum. So it does have to have a cap on it. Vidjix, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the fart. Light set. Health recovery. Magic recovery. Maximum magic. My brain stopped. 5-piece bonus. On casting an ultimate, grant magic, stamina, and health recovery for 2 seconds per 20 ultimate spent for you and up to 3 group members. So, huge recovery bonus for the whole group. If you've got loads of ultimate. Fair enough. No, that doesn't stack with other ulti feeding sources. Those things don't stack. Proc can't proc or proc. Medium. Crit chance. Offensive pen, weapon, and spell damage. Remember when they were standardizing all the sets and they just gave you one of everything? 5-piece bonus. Dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack. What? It does say full heavy attack. Will give you major force, major berserk, major courage for 12 seconds with a 9-second cooldown. That is not bad. That is not bad. Well, you already get major force and major courage and all this kind of stuff. You can get it from your group. But major berserk on tap? That's pretty nasty. From medium set too. That is a across-the-board set with these fucking obscene fucking buffs on them. You can see why they've done that, though. Major berserk is flat damage. So that would be your pen, I guess. It doesn't work that way, but it's flat damage. Major courage is weapon and spell damage, so that will go alongside this. And then major force requires crit, so that goes alongside this. So see what they've done with it. It's pretty good, though. It's not a funky fun proc set bonus, and it probably has a cool effect, but I mean, it is a proc, but not like damage flying out of the ground type procs. It's a buff. But it still looks good. Maximum health. While in combat, performing a dodge roll creates a 6-meter pool of blood. I love these dodge roll, drop a bomb on the ground sets. 10-second cooldown. After 1 second delay, no, I don't anymore because people can get out of it. Enemies in the blood pool take magic damage that scale off of your maximum health. Gain a 6-second damage shield on how much total damage is done by the pool, capped at 15k. So if you are a tank dodge rolling in a big cluster of adds, you get a 15k damage shield. And you do damage to them at the same time. The higher your health, the bigger the damage, but your damage shield is capped. While it's capped, it'd be interesting to see if that works with Bastion. Because if it does, that's going to be significantly higher. In fact, it's going to be an 18k shield. It's 15% increase or something like that. It's not going to be an 18k shield. It's not going to be far off. Heavy set. Healing taken. Maximum stamina. Taunting an enemy. Apply. Oh, fuck me. So, you're just a yes man. No, I'm not. I'm open-minded and I can see where they're going with stuff sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. I say what I think. I don't think that's necessary. And I think there are too many major vulnerability sources from 5p sets. Or 2p sets. I think there's too many sources of major vulnerability in the game. And having that have a 12-second uptime with a 15-second cooldown, 3-second gap on that individual target. You can do that in AoE anyway with the 2-piece monster set. Obviously there's a gap, but still you can. If that's per target, I mean, sure, it's interesting, but you can already apply it in much easier ways. You know, taunt is quite fucking easy, but why apply that to an individual skill when you can already do it in AoE? With a set that requires 2 pieces rather than 5. And there are sets that do it with 5, and there's a skill that does it. I feel like that one is unnecessary. I feel like they ran out of ideas on that one. Will I use it? Sure, why not? But I think they ran out of ideas. Agree with that. Kind of pushing the Necro Ultimate out of the groups. That's the problem, because every class has got its own unique twist, right? Generally speaking, you've got minor skills. So Warden, we'll go through them. So you've got Warden is minor toughness. You've got Sorcerer, which is minor Prophecy, Nightblade, minor Savagery, DK, minor Brutality, Templar, minor Sorcery, Arcanist, minor Evasion, and then you've got the Necro, which offers major vulnerability and a skill. Not something that's passive for the whole lot, which is weird. They took a twist on that one. Then, after introducing that one thing that a Necromancer could bring that nobody else could, excluding obviously the res, they started stacking that particular unique buff that belonged to that class on every other fucking set, which I don't think is a good idea. I mean, it's not now tied to the Necromancer, it's tied to the Necromancer class skill lines, because you can put it on anything now, but I just think that particular buff should not have been on the Necromancer at all. I think they should have nuked most of the... Radiant Knight, thank you very much. Thank you for the sub. This is going to be an unpopular statement, but if they wanted to offer anything in the way of uniqueness to the Necromancer and they wanted to go with vulnerability, they should strip all sources of vulnerability from everywhere apart from allowing it to be a class bonus that they bring. So while doing damage, the Necromancer applies minor vulnerability. Much like while doing damage, the Sorcerer brings minor Prophecy, or the Templar brings minor Sorcery. They don't have to do a lot to bring a very valid buff. Now, I know that can get tricky when you've got more than 6 enemies, because debuffs obviously work in a different way, so maybe they had to go a different way around that. But offering major vulnerability and then slapping it on everything anyway, I don't think was a good idea in the first place. I think it has made that particular ultimate sometimes a little redundant, depending on the builds in your group, because that is obviously a factor you have to consider. People might not build that way, so fine. But I don't think we need another source of it. Not again. Anyway, next one. Medium, crit chance, weapon and spell damage, crit chance. Okay. Dealing direct damage. Listen carefully. Direct damage. That includes beams and jabs. With a non-heavy attack, so no heavy attacks allowed, places a stack on you for 5 seconds. 1 second cooldown. 4 stacks maximum. So jab, 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 or beam, 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 beam. Dealing damage to an enemy with a fully charged heavy attack consumes the stacks and causes a blade to strike your enemy from below, increasing physical damage per stack and applying Sundered status effect. So, dealing direct damage with a non-heavy attack places a stack for 5 seconds with a 1 second cooldown. Maximum stacks, heavy attack it to pop it, and then everyone does more physical damage. Oh no, dealing physical damage. So it's a pop. It's build it up, heavy attack, slap. So it's Power of the Light, effectively, in a 5-piece, which would stack with it. So if you were to put Power of the Light on, jab, 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 heavy attack, both would pretty much pop at the same time by the time your timers are run out. It's quite nasty nuke. Use that in Cyrodiil. Use that alongside the other heavy attack set, which will give you Major Force, Major Berserk, and Major Courage. You got 2 nasty medium sets there. So, Templar, Power of the Light, jab, 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 heavy. So much damage in a big pop all at once, with double Sunder status effects at the same time. The 100 weapon and spell damage does not double stack, but the pop certainly will. See what they've done there? Anyway, Zama Spellweaver. Crit chance, weapon and spell damage. Increases your damage done with flame, shock, and frost damage by 5%, and increases the amount of burning, concussion, and chilled by 15%. Pretty nice. So, the fuck do they call it now? Flex? The Nightblade build? Put Flex in the chat, by the way. That particular build would benefit from that if I could sacrifice one of the other sets, because it would increase the entire build by increasing the status damage and the main spam ball it's using, which is Crush and Shock. So, quite a nice set. Not necessarily putting it on, but obviously will be tested. Rewards that are worthy. Coup de Grace. Weapon and spell damage. Stamina. Weapon and spell damage. When you damage an immobilized enemy, apply major vulnerability to them for 3 seconds with a 1 second cooldown. When you deal damage to an immobilized enemy, apply major vulnerability to them for 3 seconds. So, you don't even need the other set. Just put fucking root down. Adds, pull, 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 immobilize. All major vulnerability. Again with a major vuln. It's too much of it. And it'll render this one kind of useless. I mean, sure, if it only has a cooldown per target, that means that you can pull them all in, pin them up, they're all major vulnerability, taunt, apply it, taunt, reapply it, taunt, reapply it, taunt, reapply it, and then immobilization again. technically, if you put the two sets together, sure, you can have 100% uptime on major vulnerability, but you can technically already do that. This? No. It's lazy, I'm afraid. Offensive pen, crit chance. Increases damage done by 2% for each damage, shield, and heal over time effect on your target. That is quite fun, actually, obviously, because you do more damage to shielding targets that are kind of stacking them, so you can get the shield gone quicker. Get shield gone, but whatever. Major evasion and minor evasion from set and classes. Always been major from set skills, minor from classes. Yep. There's lots of minors in the game that come from other sources, but the 5 minors that we have for Warden, Templar, Nightblade, Sorcerer, and DK cannot be gained anywhere else. They're the only place you can get them from. Arcanist is given minor evasion, which is nice, but you can still get it. But the Necromancer's got the shit out on that one. It always has done. I think they need to give it a base minor skill, and they've run out of buffs. So fuck knows. Maybe they can bring minor force to the fucking group. What's the harm in that? Bring it. Bring minor force to the group from the Necromancer. Then people aren't forced to fucking put it on loads and loads of different sets or skills or whatever, and then those skills can be used for their own utility or damage output rather than having to have that and forced to have that if you want that buff. Bring a Necromancer. Then I wouldn't be so mad at major vulnerability being on everything. Heavy set. Health, armor. Gain 1 second of CC immunity after casting an ultimate for each 20 ultimates spent. I mean, you can't necessarily abuse this so much anymore because they've changed the way that the passives work for the skills from the classes, but we'll see where that goes. Pirate Valkyrie! Thank you very much. You're an absolute legend, dude. My subs dipped dramatically, like a lot. I'm in like 33% of my average at the moment, so that helps. Thank you very much for being here for an entire year. You're a legend. Again, what they've done here is they've made it so the ulti stacking is harder depending on your choices, but you can still do it. I didn't see them anywhere in this setup or patch notes so far affect Clever Alchemist or Arcasis or anything like that. So you can still use potion cooldowns to generate a metric fuck ton of ultimate really, really quickly, and then use stuff like this really, really easily. Hey, it's that designer guy I was told about. Dude, I'm on the internet. Listen. That's what the internet sounds like. Not always. Sometimes it sounds like this. But we don't listen to them. That's main character syndrome, fuckers. Don't worry about those. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Have a shout out. It's be like that sometimes. Yeah, it does. Excuse me. I think we're done with this. Most of this is general fixes. Why's my music died? Yes, I want to play again. Quest updates. Not that they're unimportant. Of course they're important, but they're so fucking subjective. It might be one person's got a problem with it, or 100 people got a problem with it, or 1,000 people, but I'm not going to read over every single one. Where Animal about polymorph illusion will now whistle as expected when summoning the mountain. Verses and visions. This is important. Players will now always be able to summon pets regardless of which verses are active. So that is important because people will get locked out of their cap. But we did forget to mention one thing. Infinite Archive is having an update. A small one, but a big one. You're going to be able to re-roll your verses, or visions even. You're able to re-roll them. Where are we here? Not going to go too much into this stuff. General fixes, more fixes, UI, more fixes, quality of life, etc., etc. Gamepad mode, hello. Swap currency and capacity on the store header to match the audio and inventory. Adjusted the default input mode. This is just for me. Stop looking. Made it automatically for the new installs and made it so that the mouse can be used in gamepad menus without swapping the UI to mouse and keyboard. You should have been able to do that anyway. It did used to work that way, but apparently there's an issue and they fixed it. Fuck it. Looks like we're going in. Focused efforts quicker. Yeah, here's the thing. So, first of all, I think it's conforming to whinging. However, there is a positive side to it. The positive side being, regardless of whether you want focused efforts or not. You might not. You might want something else. You might want adaptive concrete. You might want some crit damage. You want... Who knows, right? The problem is people that are good at the game. People that are good at the game whinge about being in there too long before they get too far. Like, they get to a point where they're bored. That is a cool problem to have. Congratulations. However, I'm still going. People that aren't very good at it struggle to get the buffs they need early on, so feel like they're never going to get what they want. Having the ability to swap it, even though I'm a bit annoyed at it because I think it's a bit weak, I can see the positive side of it, where people want a quick run and they're like, do you know what? Fuck this. We're going to go in there and I'm going to get focused efforts and smash stuff and then I'm going to leave again. They get to experience the more extreme sides of things by chasing what they're after sooner. So leaderboard runners can start the ball rolling quicker if they're lucky, because this is reroll, not guaranteed. And lesser experienced players have a bit more of an easier time rather than everything's always shit. Because you've had those runs. You've been in Arc fucking 5 or 6 and just always shit. Well, now you get a chance to alter that. Chance. It gets expensive rolling visions tested. Don't. No spoilers. I'm getting to it. Dear oh dear. It's a chance, and there is a... What's the word for it? A price. Let's call it that. Noise, you just try to interrupt me and get ahead of me while I was already doing it. Remember when I said at the top, don't get ahead of the streamer? That's a rule. Anyway, yes, very fucking exciting. It is cool as fuck. I wasn't necessarily fully for it, but I do understand the point of it. So, it's happening, so it is what it is. Sorry, I got here late, my bad. Yeah, there's a pinned message right there. Just saying. Anyway, overall, I'm going to be honest, because I always am, regardless of whether people like my opinions or not, regardless of whether people pretend I'm a fucking yes man or not. If I see a problem, I'll point it out. If I don't, I'll look at it from both sides and see where we go from there. The ulti stuff, first of all, I think is something that is at stage 1. Because this doesn't alleviate any issue. All it does is gives everyone something that they may have already had. May, not definitely. And they'll feel like they won't need to bring that to their group anymore. Which technically gives them other options. But it kind of nukes half of the sets that they would normally be using. Feels like those sets are now redundant. And feels like even if they were using them, they now had something completely taken away. So it's not you're getting the same. You're getting the same with your solo if you're not using a ulti building set or skill. They didn't even consider altering the ulti building skills that we already have in conjunction with these, considering that that might be something that will overlap. So I think this is stage 1. I think they're trying to see how impactful this is overall, and I think they're going to adjust it accordingly. Because that is something that they've underlined is a fucking issue. Everyone get too much ultimate at once. The Arcanist stuff, don't really give a shit. Doesn't make a huge difference. Is it funny? Yes. BFG's not even going to be remotely fucking affected by it necessarily by the end of it. It's week 1. Anything can change. They could roll back on it. They could do something else. As it stands, use an extra tentacle. That's it. Cast it twice. Use another script on the banner. Fuck it. Or it gives you an opportunity to play full-on ranged because maybe you won't want Scholar anymore. Fuck it. Take advantage of the passive one from the banner and use another skill. There's always something else you can do. The Sorcerer stuff does make a bit of sense with the passive any bar thing. Bit of a hit to the resources, obviously, based on the fact that we're going to lose maximum magic or maximum stamina. But now you've got a choice where you can have either resistances or crit chance. Technically speaking, you probably already got this anyway, because that's a very easy source of crit to gain, especially if you just put Evil Hunter on your bar. Speaking of which, Evil Hunter I'm not too pleased with. I don't think they've done a good job with that one. I think that is still one of those obscure skills that just used to be OP as fuck. Granted, they did need to change it, but I don't think that's ever been in a happy spot since. I think with it just improving the next skill, damage-wise, and costing loads of stamina to be able to do that, I think they intended that to be kind of like the Shichik Order skills, but never really finished it. The other buffs, bonuses, synergies, type effects that are affecting classes and stuff, again, stage 1. This is a hit, but then they're encouraging you to use it more often. So is it? This one is a big bonus. The healing from Dark Cloak is a massive benefit. And the new sets are kind of cool. I'm not against any of their overall 5-piece bonuses or even mid bonuses, apart from the fact that it's too much major vulnerability. I think we've got enough of it in the game. I think you nuked it away from the Necromancer skill line, Gravelord, and I think the Necromancer should have something unique like all the other classes do if you're going to keep giving everyone their passive bonuses or their active bonuses that they can bring. This stuff here, though, I was expecting them to alter Reliquin to make it do more damage but be 5 stacks. That way, people that can maintain stacks get more damage slightly, and people that can't do it get something up front. I was expecting them to do that with Reliquin. They didn't. I think the reason for that is the fact that the wind obviously starts anyway, but I don't think it's enough for an inexperienced player. The rest of it, though, very, very good. Basai was good. Berserker Warrior is very, very good. Coral Riptide, also quite good. I mean, it's not in line with Basai, and you can use that instead. It's just one of those fucking things. Destructive Mage, big, big benefit to that one. And some of the other sets where they give you upfront bonuses and higher ones at peak means that lesser skilled players do get something for using the set rather than just wishing upon a star that they'll ever make it. So I do think the changes to the sets is probably the most impactful stuff that benefits overall with these trial sets. New stuff again, too much major vulnerability. This was cool. Class changes, we'll see what happens with the ulti regen, and all the rest of it is meh. This is a big one, though. I have gone over it already. The dark magic stuff, not dark magic, the dark cloak, that's a big benefit to Nightblade tanks. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into the fucking PTS. Enough of that music. Where's my PTS? Need a controller now. Gotta plug everything in. Gonna have to go. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. I mean, it is pinned at the top and generally considered to be good form to not jump ahead of the stream. It is. Welcome in anyway, but that is a rule. These streams are very, very stressful because what people do is they jump from one stream to another, to another, to another, usually when someone's already talked about it, and they jump in with secondhand information so they feel relevant on the stage. I know that's not what you're doing. I'm just saying that's what generally happens, which is why I have the disclaimer there, to prevent it. But I'm glad you're excited. It is pretty fucking cool. And also it gives me something to spend my Archival Fortunes on. Because selfishly, I have too many. Although I do use the weekly vendor quite a bit. Come on, come on. Use your NVIDIA overlay. I'd rather not. I've still got fucking Discord open. Let's check this. Hopefully not. I don't usually use it on this system. I use it on the other one. No, it's closed. Steam is fucking open for some reason. No, I don't play ESO on Steam. That was for June. Which, by the way, I'll be playing after stream because I get to play in the sand all day, all night, and all day tomorrow because it's my fucking day off day. Which will probably end up working anyway. I'll try not to. Dune Day? That's what it's called. It's not Wednesday anymore. It's not day off day. It's called Dune Day. Let's go. Don't look at my password. Yes, it's all stars, but how many? I don't know what I've got on here, actually. Tank of some description? There he is. Just make a new one. BFG. Just getting in. Hello, the update's bad news for BFG? Not really. I mean, first of all, it hasn't happened yet. Secondly, anything could change. And finally, no. It's fine. Let's see. Arcanist. Let's make BFG. Let's do it. And we're going to be... We're normally Nord, aren't we? I mean, it is an Orc, but we're normally Nord. Let's be Orc. Be awkward. I saw the stars in your face, so obviously it didn't count the stars. Ahaha! Very smooth. Where the fuck am I going with this? Randomize. He looks mega now. You're right, no need to panic. I'm not even in the game yet. Nope. Anything can change at any time. This is... I bet someone's got this. 100%. This is not awkward. I make fun of people for doing that all the time. When someone goes and makes a character called John, and then their account gets banned, and they come back being all edgy going, yeah, I'm back in the game. What's your character name? Not John? Yeah? Oh, dear. Children. Right. Let's go to the house first of all, because we need to get set up and not stand here where all the noobs are. Yes, that's exactly what happens, because people try and duel you right here. You get into the PTS on a brand new fucking template, and someone goes, duel me, bro. Duel your mum. I'm busy. Testing stuff. Instead of trying to allow you to flex on YouTube because you killed someone on PTS. Well done. No, they're all in dungeons practicing. We're going to see the dungeons, but probably not today. Right, let's put this together real quick. Yes, I'll make fun of everybody. Unless I don't like you, in which case I don't make fun of you. I'll just ban you instead. I even make fun of noise on a regular basis. True story. World's first dungeon. I said about it earlier, dude. You don't get to claim it. I already said it. Alpha Predator, obviously. Have to put that title on just to show off when you go into PTS. What do we got? Right. This is normally done off stream, so excuse me while my brain engages. I do know where absolutely everything is, but I am already overwhelmed with lots of things to focus on. So I don't need anyone going, it's in that box! Shut up. Not helpful. This uses none of that. Arena sets, class sets. No. Finally decided to go back to VMA. Took the lazy sork. Flawless conquer achieved. Congrats. I'm going to press this really fucking loud because this is relevant as fuck. Congratulations, you earned it. Everyone in that chat that has ever experienced VMA and finally got their clear, or even if you haven't and you're still trying to get it, make sure you put beer and cake in the chat and congratulate Black Hammer on his achievement. And no, I do not mean this sarcastically. Actually mean it. Because someone decided to get snippy with me on fucking Twitter today because I demonstrated the VMAW run the other day about how the ninjas and the group finder got in there, smashed it after just a couple wipes on the twins, and understood the mechanics and finally got their achievements done. And someone was like, well, that's like celebrating Flawless Conqueror after Oakensol and Ring of Pearl Order came out. Yeah? What's wrong with that? Did you have a harder time? Was it worse for you? People struggle every fucking day with things that need skill applied to them. To them, it's fucking difficult. Once they've got it done, you should be congratulating. You shouldn't be pissing on them just because it was more difficult for you. Stop making it personal. It's their personal achievement. Yours is done. Move over. Vijix with a beer and a cake. AO as well. Japan. Simpler is great, and thank you for the time you put into the build. You are most welcome, and I haven't even got a link for it. I haven't made a link for Simply yet because I've been doing other things. I've been playing fucking Dune. Content-wise, it's still been there, obviously. But on stream, because yesterday was delayed for today, I haven't even got a link for it. Here you go. Simpli's updated. Enjoy. Even signing just Cobra, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. You should congratulate people for stuff they get done because they finally got it done. They're really happy about it. They don't need some shit canoe going, yeah, I done it ages ago. Who fucking asked you? So it's not helpful to try and make somebody's achievements feel less worth it just because you've done it or just because you had a rougher time. Maybe they had an equally difficult time. Maybe they found what you consider easy just as hard as it was for you when you first tried. Fucking people. I will not support that. I will support people's efforts and completions rather than those damning them for trying. What happened to the hair? He's got a mask on. Oh, you mean this stuff? You mean the braids? This is the first time you've ever joined my stream. How do you know I had hair? I cut it, dude. I had fucking enough of it. I had cornrows for like 20 years and then shave up the side and cornrows too for a long time. And then it's just effort, dude. So much fucking effort. I have to sleep with the do-rag on all the time. And it's expensive. We had a fucked up year, so fuck it, cut it off. Looks clean. Thank you very much. Finally made a proper meal. Proper chef going. Who made a proper meal? Compare yourself to yourself, not others. Correct. But mom, shut up, Buddha. We're putting stuff on. Where's the crafted stuff gone? That's rhetorical, by the way. I know where it is. It's here. DLC. It looks cleaner when it's cut properly. At the moment, I'm like a week and a half away from a haircut. I forgot. Got busy. Solstice, yes. I'll have some of this. Shed Burden. Cool name for a set. So many sets in the game now. Medium. All the stuff and things. And we also need to go to Cyrodiil sets, obviously. This is for the people panicking about BFG. Don't panic. I need one person on PTS to join me in my efforts in the Infinite Archive because we're going to go check out the reroll. Yes, I already know what happens, but we're going to demonstrate it because that's what happens when you're a live streamer. You get to show people stuff rather than someone coming in and go, well, I've already seen that. Not noise. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some people that do that. That's separate. They do. You don't need to show me. I've seen it. Well, you don't need to watch. You're looking even sharper. Would make me fall apart spontaneous. That was smooth. Very smooth. Shout out to Tony Silver, by the way. She's there in the room. Where the fuck did I get to? Skill reset? No thanks. Right. Let's make this happen. You belong there. You belong there. We'll get the shoulder piece in a moment. Belt. Braces. Then we need... Actually, no, that is right. Need one deadly belt. Not that it matters. It doesn't have to be a belt. It could be anything. Deadly. I'll take a belt. Why not? So for those making the BFG, put BFG in the chat. It's not dead yet. And it won't be dead anyway. Just might have to alter it when I get there. Don't worry. I'm still updating all the rest of the stuff for update 46. Mythics. Mythic items. High Isle. Oh my god. Oaken Soul. Oaken Excuse. That's what you're full of. Anyone that sits and goes, you're not loading, you're on 1 bar. Ah, you got one of those Oaken excuses. You know, where you feel inadequate enough to tell someone they're not allowed to play based on their chosen playstyle because you feel stupid that they can play just as well as you with less effort. Bear in mind, it could be just as much effort for them. It's just that you feel stupid. It's okay, we understand your Oaken excuse. Boing! Meow. I need a Munda Stone. Meow. It's really funny how the brain works. If I'm trying to get a point across and make sure that it's delivered clearly, especially if it hurts, I tend not to have any issues with it. No stutter, no word stumbling, no nothing. But then when you try to read something that's clearly put in front of you in fucking great marker pen or text, you're like, necromancer. Can't do it. Fuck knows. Weird. Where the fuck is the food? Hi Zai, how you doing? Hello, welcome to the stream. Hello Rick. Thank you for the Book Wizard build. Amazingly fun. You are most welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That build will out-hit all the best of them. Dude, that's fucking insane. It's like a breath of life in rapid fire for the whole group. Like 3 breath of lives every 1 second. Love how the Simplar isn't being affected by anything on PTS. Yeah, literally just came out, not affected. Brilliant. I mean, not to say anything won't change, because it could do. Anything could change at any moment. But as it stands, up front, it doesn't look like anything's going to affect it. I need some weapon and spell damage, but they need to be stamina. Stamina! Weapon box. I need... We'll have stamina, because why not? This is something people have failed to realize when they're playing this build. You can just put a stamina glyph on. Or weapon and spell damage, up to you. Where have you gone? It's weird that they haven't altered the Infinite Archive yet to make it so that they actually have scaling stat damage rather than just increase by percentage. Because the increase by percentage keeps their weapon and spell damage the same as it always is, which is why people can make it feel like they do no damage. In fact, they can make them do no damage. They need to fix that, because otherwise people are going to default to the same old cheaty ways. All the other setups that I've been abusing the current system will need some work. Yeah, some of them will. But tough shit. Bollocks to it. It's all part of the job. Those don't listen to smart people. Sometimes. Reaper, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Shh, Zots is listening. No, they're not. They're not listening. Because they only listen to smart people, remember? I'll get away with it. The internet said. He's a dumbass. Ah, good. Good. If I'm a dumbass, they won't change anything. Let's see. Not that. Stamina. Wrong one. Not that. That's already stamina. These are not. And the head isn't either because crafted stuff comes out the box with no glyphs on. Lots of people make that mistake when they're on the PTS. Now you know. That has been... Oh, that needs to change. Where is my transmutation station? It's not even called that, is it? It's called... Transmute Station. That's where it needs to be. These need to be bloodthirsty. We'll have this as well. Whoops, wrong one. Right, what am I missing? That's rhetorical. You don't have to tell me. Did I even eat this Moonstone? I did. Food. So please. Consumables. Already done that. We're looking for Tessa's lunchbox. There you are. So, bear in mind, if you are using the BFG and you keep running out of juice all the time, you're either not paying attention, you're not getting kills, or other people aren't helping you with synergies and buffs and bonuses and such, which is nice, but it's not always there. Or you're not using a stamina glyph, or you're not changing your champion points, or you might just be dodge rolling too much. Either way, or any of those either ways, you could just use this. It's got recovery on it. Or you could use Dubious Command Throne, which also has recovery on it. Or you could not. You miss me, Zai? No! Hell, Gringo, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I only miss you if you drop subs. Because I'm down to a third of what I should be at, which is harsh, especially for Ren. So if you drop loads of subs, I missed you very much. If not, get out. Add-ons. Don't really need these to be running, to be fair. Combat metrics already there anyway. I need this. So this is what I do on every single character that I have to make on PTS. Every single fucking time. So do this and this. My mouse is getting stuck on this fucking map. Always show, do not show active combat tips. Actually, that doesn't matter. That's automatic. That is on, that is on, that is on. Show all buffs and show all that. Should do it. Skills. Oh, we need to go do the subclassy thing. You are over here. Is that day 47 PTS getting on? Is ESO ending? It's over, mate. The game's quitting. Not the developers or anything. They're not quitting, but the game is. The game is so sad that it's going to give up and leave them. It's completely dead. Everything's horrible. It's the worst thing ever. The forums is going to be pretty close to that statement, so you won't be disappointed when you get there. Clickbait is going to be all over the place saying, oh my god, the game is completely nerfed. I can't believe they did this to us. Yeah. It's fucked. No, it's fine. They are testing some new things. Let's put it that way. Nightblade? Usually Nightblade. We'll test it in its current form. Because it is using Nightblade stuff. And we do not need that. And then we'll also take this and take Templar. And we'll take Adric Spear and we'll place this. So now we have the exact same scenario. I've already chosen them. Why won't you finish?
To choose new disciplines. Hold
Oh,
them in your mind.
I don't want to choose new ones. Right. Anyway, this is part and parcel of tests and stuff. You make sure that you have exactly the same variables before and go through the motions with it, and then you adjust accordingly. Rather than just slapping stuff on and hoping it'll make a difference. Because if you don't know the gauge between the two, then you haven't really got a good place to start. I know that sounds really fucking obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many people that think they know what they're doing fuck that up. So always start with what you should normally have and see where it is from there and alter it if need be. Not just for the sake of it. Episode impact, flail needs to go here, actually. Don't need that, don't need that. Do need this. Let's go here. Dumbass. Time. Yes, this has been changed. It's by scholarship. We need this for passives. Don't need that. Why did I buy a scroll? Because it's quicker to put the points in. See this? Rather than pressing X, yes, and keep doing that shit. It's pretty interesting that Soul Harvest is still going to be the main go-to for ulti regen, though. Makes perfect sense. And we need a banner, which we'll have shortly. Need to go to the house. So I find out I haven't got the skill line unlocked. Oh, don't jump. My coffee is dead. That had spices in it. You like the spices? It was good, actually. We had to do that because we've only got shit coffee in the house. The proper stuff is not here till tomorrow. The one thing we have to have in the house, regardless of how many stupid amount of hours we work and how unhealthy we are staying indoors all the fucking time, slaved, tied to the fucking computer, is at least good coffee. Made a shit coffee drinkable, you did. Someone got the nerve high and sent, or how am I supposed to post up max high score with dummy humping? Right? Imagine. What am I looking for? Engage brain. Skills. I was doing the stuff and things. Ah, yes, banner. No. Crowns are free on PTS, by the way. All you need to do is log out on a new character or an old character. Make a fucking brand new one, whatever, and you'll have all your crowns filled back up again. Ah, grimoires and shit. Did I delete those? I bet I did. Nope. All scripts. So please. All of those. I may have done this a few hundred times. Not Torchbearer, dumbass. Fenrir. Now, this is different. Now, I know you're supposed to play it in its actual state, which we will do. But this has been altered ever so slightly because this will not stack with the other thing anymore. So we'll keep this the same. Where's the direct damage done? Not that, not that, that. Shot one. There we go. That's direct done. Then we need to make sure we've got one of these bad boys. We don't... Listen carefully to this. You don't need Minor Berserk. You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. That's attached to Oaken Soul, and every class is going to have it. What's the fucking point? Again, point made. That is interesting, but you don't need that either. Not really. Minor Protection, don't need it. Minor Resolve, you do. Savagery, you don't. This is the only one you can really benefit from. You could benefit from Intellect. No, you can't. Wait, you can. Let me recap on this. No, you don't need it. So the only one that will benefit you here, and this is in the video as well, is Resolve. Because the ring doesn't carry it. So all these, absolutely useless. They're all on the ring. Grants a damage shield every 3 seconds for 3 seconds. Reduces the cost of sprint. Heals every 2 seconds. That's good. Increases health, magic, and stamina recovery for of other group members. So if you stack these, that's quite nice. Reduce effectiveness of negative snares. Can't use the Crux anymore because it's being altered. Although technically we can. We could just take off tone. We're not going to do that. And increase your weapon and spell damage for every 1% bonus movement speed you have up to a maximum of 45. I mean, we could fuck with that for a bit. Fuck it, why not? Anyway. Can't afford that. Your mum can't afford that. I didn't get any ink. Oops. Let's try again, shall we? And resolve. Actually, I'm gonna do something different. I can. Who did the thing?
Winning. I love winning.
Thank you for the follow. What a legend. That should work for us too. Let's see. Character. 643. Nope, only for your group. I mean, that will work, because you can stack with other people. It does say group members, but it's always worth checking. Slot was empty. Which one is empty? Oh, I took them out. Okay, so... that actually puts us from 5129 to fuck all. Helps when we start running and get buffs. I need to change the champion points. Then we're pretty much good to go. If you didn't know already, on PC you can just hold shift while doing this. And you'll fill the whole thing instantly. Or almost instantly. Like this. Oh, it doesn't want to work when I'm doing a mouse and keyboard. Son of a bitch. It said it'll work now, but it doesn't. It just swaps. Anyway, if you're using mouse and keyboard, it works. If you're using the buttons for the numbers, that will work. That didn't like me. Stand corrected. They've taken away the ability to hold this. Because normally you can do that. I'm going to press 9 instead. Anyway, shift. Does still work. Before, you could hold shift on the keyboard and hold R2 in order to speed it up. Nuked it. Their new accessibility buttons took that away. So now you got to press the buttons properly. Fuck it. Never knew that, thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, so if you're using 7 or 9 to go up or down, just hold shift. You're done. Like this. So this one here, if I hold shift and do 9, done. Next. But before, you used to be able to do it with the R2. Now it overwrites it if you touch the keyboard. Again, you can do that with accessibility mode and start fucking with it, but I'm not going to bother. Most people don't know that. Red stuff. I've got a very limited amount of time, but we are going to fuck around the Infinite Archive and see what they've done with it. Obviously, we will have unlimited resources when that happens, because we're on PTS. So you will have to farm your own Archival Fortunes when it goes live. Bear in mind, with this being PTS, it's not necessarily set in stone the cost of things. Anything can be changed. What they want is valid feedback based on the particular suggested changes in order to decide whether they're going to go through with it or adjust it. That is the purpose of the public test server. The purpose of it isn't to go on there and get content done before it's released in order to guarantee a trifecta on release day. Testing stuff and giving back feedback is what they want. Yeah, well, we did that at the same time. Kind of leading. Otherwise, you wouldn't have logged on at exactly the same time as the game went live. We would have just done it later. I like the Dune test servers. Oh, Dune test servers, fantastic. And I know I'm on PTS right now. I read the patch notes, etc., etc. And I'm taking advantage of it, as I should do. Right? I make content with it. Everybody does. It's there to practice on test stuff, whatever. But what Dune did is they put out a patch note saying, here's the test server. They gave you about 4 days worth of testing, and they went, right, bring it down now. We're done. Even though it would affect some of the delivery of my content, I would not be mad if they did that. That would be perfectly fine. I'll just go back to doing it in-game. That's what I used to do. I don't need that, don't need that. I'm pretty much done here. Right. Champion point, skills. Working on your day off already? I know. I haven't got a choice, dude. I've got some massive catching up to do. The whole year has been me catching up, and now I'm fucking falling behind. I'm looking for potions. It doesn't matter how much work I do at the moment, it's still fucking falling behind. It's crazy. What the fuck's going on with the world? Need this. No. Right. Are we done? Skills. That's the wrong one. Doesn't matter because it hasn't got the weapon of spell damage anymore. Should be it. We're in good hands. James Bond, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Zai, have you thought about hurrying up? I have thought about hurrying up. I tried. Boing. I added double the workload. I need someone on PTS. Someone join me in Infinite Archive. If not, I'll go in there on my own. I don't give a fuck. Oh, that's the other one. We need to change to this. Change it to Reaving Blows. Putting that on there. It's not Thermaturge. That was for Simpler. I knew that. I don't care what you're on. Just bring it so we can go in there and smack stuff. If not, I haven't got long. I'll go in on my own anyway. I don't really care. Before we do, though, we need to put fashion on. Fashion is very important. Not costumes. Cool skills. Cool bear. We need a polymorph. Personality, heroic, obviously is mega. Polymorphs, what do we got over here? I haven't even unlocked them from the boxes. The Baron? Fuck it, why not? Double check I've got everything I need. Ah, shoulder. The one thing I'm missing. Monster sets. Bear in mind this particular monster set is not set in stone. You can use any that give you a crit bonus. Not the head. I need shoulder. Medium? Not sturdy, dumbass. Divins. Don't mean divines. Yes, that's what I said, divins. Infinite of archives, here we go. PTS, people, there is a change. We're going to be able to swap stuff. Working on your day off already. Read that already. I read it twice. Claw, have you not joined us on Dune yet? You need to. Tell your PC parts to hurry up and get there. Right. Don't need your quest. You suck.
Dealing with this problem. Your fate walks these.
Where's my food?
Come here.
My stamina said 20 fucking K. That was wrong. Here we go. Boing. Got to sleep, night all. Title Swatter, thank you for watching. Massively appreciate it. Bit and cake in the chat for anyone who wants to leave the stream. So, as you can see, 1 crux, 2 crux, 3 crux, bam. So, firing 1 with this still allows you 2. The banner won't fire the class 1 anyway, so just fire 2 tentacles. We're going back to where BFG originally was. It's still going to hit like a truck. Excellent. Versus, don't really care. The Great Eye offers you versus. Does indeed. That doesn't mean that the bow is going to be more active now because it doesn't give you a weapon and spell damage bonus, but it does save up a heal in the chamber, so that's kind of nice. Wow, he's dead. Wish I got a few months to save up to get a good PC. Fair. Maybe it'll be out by then on console. Oh no, this is so bad. This is fucking terrible. The game is broken. Whatever shall we do? The build's going to be terrible. Okay, boss round. Now we get to do the thing. World skills, useless. Where's the dude? Give me millions of these buffs, please. We'll have 50 of them. We're not going to go to round 50. Just because we can't be bothered. I mean, you can't. No, just because you can't be bothered. Bug number 1. Spawn on the other direction. Excellent. Oh, it's you. Hello. Two of those. Ulti. 1, 2. Big beam. 1, 2. Don't heavy attack me. The hit that it does is so bloody hard anyway, you're not really going to see a difference. If it happens I could get large Domino's pizza and garlic bread. Dude, don't tempt me, I'm fucking hungry. Bloody pizzas. Right! Archival Fortunes. However, I can re-roll them if I would like. Ready? Re-roll your current vision options. You will not receive any of these visions after re-rolling. Ooh. But we're rolling the dice. It's now 10 times more expensive. Do I want Adaptive Conqueror? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. The next one is more expensive. 13.5k. We can do this all fucking day. 32k for the next one. I've decided that I want to keep this one. So yes, you can rotate through them, but it gets more and more and more expensive. Quite dramatically expensive. Bear in mind, however, those prices are not necessarily set in stone. They could change. There's very unusual scaling, by the way. didn't make any real sense. Pyong. 4 rolls and no focused efforts. Crazy shit. Who's worried about the build so far? All I did is I replaced the class script with Cavalier script. Hey Zai, did you know rerolls get more expensive each roll? Did you know that? Did you know? No, Noise. You should log in. You should log in and find out. They do. Kind of knew anyway. I wasn't going to spoil it on stream. Good job Noise didn't come in and say it to everyone before we got there. It's good job. Again, the prices could change. They probably should because it's a bit skew-if. They get 400, 4,000, 13.5, 32k. What? Which school did you go to? I know they didn't want to make the next one 40 straight after 4. But I mean, just double it each time. Map, 100%. Zos map! It's unusual. Like, hey, if you have minor and major heroism, it's the same as having 30 fucking ulti back every time you pop a potion. It decided to make happen once every 29 seconds. It's not. You don't even need to continue with that. It's just not. Boing. Orbiting Echoes, yes please. Boss round.
It has the best temporal elasticity.
Best temporal elasticity, apparently. That's 3. Bow. Dead. Here we go, map now, ready for Zos map. You get told off for that. They'll get you with a stick. Scorching Strikes. Or it's more per round. The last one was 400, this round is 500. Or I could change it. Let's change it. Yes, please. Crystalline Strikes. No. Well trained. Definitely not. Storm Projection. What is it after 32k? Should we try this for science? 62.5k to give me well trained again. They said they wouldn't get that twice. Reroll your current visions options. You will not receive any of these visions after re-rolling. Ferocious Strikes. 108k. Yuck.
Winning. I love winnings. Drinks all around.
So this is what you do, people. And this is the funny part. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Much appreciated. You know there's people that were like, yeah, we can do our runs faster now? No. You might want to have really long runs to save up 1,000,001 Archival Fortune so you can use it to dump on these for 171.5k a reroll. We're on advantage. I might as well take it. The next one's 250,000. It's a bit much. There's a bit much. Again, it could change at any moment in time. It doesn't mean it's necessarily set in stone. So, how many BFG users are out there at the moment? Are you worried about the update? Are you worried? Thank you for the follow. Not at all. So the way you were playing it with two tentacles and a beam is the way you'll be able to continue playing it with 2 tentacles and a beam. Instead of a tentacle and a beam. Oh no. Not one more. That's already the option if you've chosen not to have Arcanist as your base one because you've got a class script for an Arcanist. Or maybe you could use another one and use a different character. More confused, Inspired Scholarship and Class Mastery don't stack but do the same thing. Pretty much, yeah. Except one of them you don't have to maintain and the other one you do. Bear in mind, however, Scholarship does do extra damage if you're close enough to the target if you use a class skill. Look. And it carries passives. So each pulse enhances class ability, strike an enemy that's not even close by. You just do extra damage. So technically, you just swap the banner out. as it stands. I've done this, and I've put Cavalier on it. So the more speed bonuses I get, the more weapon and spell damage I get, up to a maximum of 450, which, by the way, is 50 more than the Grim Focus that used to give us 400 weapon and spell damage. So all I need is speed buffs. Not too bad. To be back to where you were. A little bit more, actually. But these always happen when we make changes. Pretty much. And it keeps your character fresh. For the time being, until this update comes out, regardless of what they do to it, your build already functions. And it already does everything you want it to do. Then when the update lands, you get to look forward to potential change in it. So it adds more customization rather than stagnation. There's a club for stags. Splat. Splat! It's really easy to get to that, and 9 times out of 10 you cast it twice anyway to immobilize shit. 1, 2, he's dead anyway. Splat Steve. It's mega, does. Swift Gale, beautiful, and Magical Madness, that's disgusting. You're about to see some phenomenal DPS, people. If it fires, not gonna fire. We'll just have a casual 100 and whatever that was anyway. They still haven't fixed that. What haven't they fixed? I'll explain. See this? Light attack fires swift. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Light attack fires Swift Gale, right? It's supposed to have a cooldown that is less than a light attack. So technically it should fire every light attack, but it doesn't. Next! Also, the reroll, while it's nice, isn't visible enough. I would argue that little prompt down there for a new or less experienced player is not obvious enough for them to want to take it. I would argue that that needs to be up here. I'm aiming with my hands. You can't fucking see. Above the window or under the window, it should say press square if you want to re-roll these choices. Right in the face of the player. Thought you said something else that sounded similar to 2 tentacles and strong beam. I did. Brawl and Blitz. Bleh. Nope. It's going to cost me a lot to get focused efforts. It's not happening. Harsh. Harsh, motherfucker. I'll take that. I've only got 193k left. I've gone through 1 million Archival Fortunes almost, people. I saved those up for a year. PC interface is clearer. Why they don't give that for controller UI love? They are. They did for the last 3 or 4 updates. It's just that it takes time. But agreed, that would be quite nice. At the moment, they're testing the functionality of it. Once it functions properly, then obviously they can alter it, but you'd think they'd put that on the first week. And it's not that much to add to it, to be honest, because it's all on the same same section of UI. Well, it is a bit more difficult than that, actually. Okay. You don't know this, but while I was a concept artist and illustrator working on multiple different game developments and movies, I was also a user interface designer. Didn't tell you that before. Maybe I told one of you. Boing. Not only that, I had the code fucking thing too, which was fun. Long time ago though. Boing. This is not struggle damage at all. How would your Arcanist with a Nightblade ulti? I'm assuming that's a legit question, James Bond. Dude, put BFG in the chat. Did you not know? I can't tell whether he's joking or being serious. Update 46 that we're currently in on live introduced subclassing, where you can add class skills of other classes to your character. I have Templar, Arcanist, and Nightblade combined here. Lazy Sork is now Sorcerer and Nightblade combined. Simplar is Warden and Templar combined. You been out of the game? No shit. Oh. Something else that might interest you, James Bond. That feature is base game. Yeah. Now you're tied to your own class sets and your own class scripts of your main base class. And you can't have two of another class skill lines, only your own. So the way around that would to be another class. But yeah, it's fucking brilliant. I look at it in without changes and BFG worked as intended. One extra step didn't feel gassed for stam at all still. No, it's still fine. Dude, stamina's not even a problem. It's just because some people dodge roll too much, so they end up nuking it all and they don't manage to maintain it. Trick to maintaining it is between fights, turn your fucking banner off. Look, your passive recovery will fill it up for you. Oh no, we're going to a boss fight. Even running it's going up. Put it back on again. We'll forget.
This is it. This is the fragment we needed.
You can change your recovery food if you fancy it. Here we go again, people. Ready? Roll the dice.
Place to summon her. Keep
Well trained, really?
Liquids busy while I look for the
Panic Boon, really? Actually, that's not too bad. No, that's terrible. That's increased... That's area of effect damage. That will work, actually. That's not right. I was going to say that's fucking damage over time. Why was it reading a different thing? It didn't update with the swap. So that's something that is tricky. When you swap skills, it doesn't update the tooltip for the new one that you're highlighting. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm not having it. Oh, they keep giving me that. They're going to cock block me with these same things until I take them. I'm out of money. Fuck. Boo! Disagree, out of money. Your mum's out of money. Let's go. Oh my god, I only used one crux. It's terrible. I actually used two. Got three. Imps are horrible. Fucking just deleted him with an ultimate. That's supposed to buff my damage on target, not just kill him. Hull blast, sure. I mean, they've made tomfoolery more desirable, I guess.
They make your fights more interesting.
Ding. Goodbye. Should go wherever that is and learn a thing or two. Dude, it marked out whatever it was you said. I think I tried to put a link in there. Links don't work. But yes, there's loads of stuff. Dude, put website in the chat. There's guides on the website regarding that stuff. There's even videos on my YouTube channel. There's loads on my YouTube channel. Even, I think I put 7 different class videos up regarding the changes in Update 46 and how it affects their overall, as well as the subclass inside of it. I've done a massive, massive overhaul on the website, and I'm 6 weeks into it, and I've got loads more to do. Website in the chat. There's always one, isn't there? Pale. Chefsky, thank you very much indeed for the sub. Massively appreciate Bit and Cake in the chat. Welcome in. You have the Ninja Cake emotes. Use and abuse them as you see fit. 31 of 50 people. Let's fucking go. Thank you very much. Oh, shit. Let's see those emotes, people. Did I even get an extra buff? Don't do that. I did get an extra one. Class embodiment. Fantastic. Now, before, you could get away with that because it was a channeled damage over time beam. Now it's not. It's actually direct, so you don't want to use that while she is in a shield. Before you could. Now you can't. Get out the stuff. Doesn't matter when I fire the fucking bow anymore, actually. Do it when I want. Still take the crit bonus, though. Stein, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Look at this. Ready? Reroll. Storm projection or extended favor? Nope. Reroll again. I'm gonna run out of money. Lethal sorcery, crit chance. Sure, why not? This is demonstrating how quickly you run out of money if they come through this expensive, which is ridiculous. I think what they've done is they've decided you can roll as many times as you want as long as you've got the money for it, but realistically, we want you to just roll once. They've given you an unscalable choice. Do I have 3? I do have 3. Oh no, we have to use one more Tentacles. Like gambling with your own. As fuck's chance to win is big. Yeah, I mean, you meant to keep fortunes, but it is. Dude, you don't get anything at the end for gambling though, that's the thing. You're getting a buff either way, so what do you really gain? Time saved? No, you're just going to rinse your bank. You'll need to have some really, really long runs for several months before you've got enough to make it worth a while. RNG is still a bitch. Don't you dare heavy attack me. I was doing a thing. Asshole. Come on, come on. Shit buff. Fire orb is good. And go. Oh wow. Get that, Gary. There's a spider on the wall. Thanks for what's up, buddy. More up to date than most I've been looking at. Now I've returned to ESO after 5 years absence. Thank you very much. Bear in mind that particular website I've been working on, well, for years. But I did a bit of an overhaul on it recently. Massive, massive SEO overhaul on it, which took the last 6 weeks. And multiple new updates have been already altered to their new style. The rest of them are still pending. I'm working a lot on them, and I've got a lot more to do. But if you follow Lazy Sort, BFG, Simpler, Almost Immortal Warrior, Infinite Archive Guide, you'll see the new structure. So the rest of them are going to take a long, long time, but I'm working on them. And, well, the more you stay, the more you'll see. Also, if you put giveaway in the chat, the free giveaway game is now fully functioning on the website. All you need to do is find where you think the prize is, and you'll get an email saying you won. If you won. If you didn't, you won't. Doing giveaway. Oh, focused efforts with a gamble. Let's go. Doing giveaways all the time. Sometimes they're every day, sometimes every couple days, but there's free shit there. I don't know who said this. Well, will the Almost more Warrior be affected? No. Not at all. In fact, none of the changes will affect it. That doesn't mean it won't eventually, because I might do an update for it anyway, because I might change some stuff to it. And that also means that during the PTS cycles, some stuff might interfere with it. As it stands at the moment, week 1, no, nothing affected it. But it's not likely to be fair. That has been successful for fucking 9 years. And every time there's even a minor change to it, it just gets better. In actual fact, it kind of adds something to it because you're now benefiting from a buff you never had. You don't need Heroic Slash to get Minor Heroism anymore. And if you weren't actively using some of your buffs, then you weren't necessarily getting the benefit from them all the time. And some people, if they're using Ignis Shield like once every 6 seconds, would get a small amount. Some people use it once every fucking minute, which is... Watching players use it, they don't always get that extra bonus anyway. So, it won't affect them. It's minor for that particular build. And again, if you use it as actively as you normally would, if you don't already have a present from somebody else, then it's going to be the same. Other stuff though, Nightblades and shit, they're affected. They are. If you're using the Siphoning skill line, they're affected. That Catalyst is ridiculous. End of the world? Definitely not. But it is going to affect them. The thing is though, again, I said this earlier, take this as the baseline test that they can then alter on top of after they've seen a week's worth of feedback. Some? What did I eat? Did I eat some? I know what you're doing with that. This is where I respond to set you up for your next response. Welcome to the stream. That's usually followed by you eat somewhat, and then they respond with these nuts. Yeah, never seen that before. You have to put them on eBay under vintage and hardly used. Hi! I'll keep a weaponry. Not really useful to me. Next boss then. You can re-roll your visions, people. But as it stands on PTS at the moment, past 1 or 2 of them is fucking expensive. You don't. This is the BFG in its altered state. Not by much, though. Basically, it's in the same setup as before, but we have to use 1 extra tentacle. What we do? Food is ready in the kitchen. Oh, banging! Food is ready, which means I'm going soon. Wrong way. Where's the thing? Reroll.
It's more likely that they're
Ha ha ha! Motherfucker. Oh dear, oh dear. Yuri, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Dude, I'm re-rolling for focused efforts. Can you believe it? Disgusting. Should do something for science while we're here. No rushes. Beer fried burger. Oh my god, there is a rush. I thought I could smell alcohol. What do we got? New update is... Here somewhere. Medium... Let's do trial stuff, actually. Let's do... not ability altering weapons. It is in dungeons. Ah, there they are. Good, good. Thank you. Been drawing a lot lately. Excellent. Glad to hear it. How about you? I haven't been drawing. That's just collectibles. I don't need that. Automatically block all attacks for no cost. Dealing damage and mobilized enemies gives them major vulnerability. Disgusting. Using ultimate, people get stuff. Do damage for using soul magic. That was that one, actually. This one is dodge roll, put a cooldown. Get a damage shield. When you taunt, no. Direct damage with non-heavy attack puts a buff on them. 3k per stack consumed. Pretty good. Immunity. Heavy attack grants major force, major berserk, and all the rest of it. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, technically, we've already got some of that. What else was there? That's not going to work for this. None of those are going to work for this apart from the major stuff, and we're not using heavy attacks enough. Fuck it. That's a lazy sork set. Dude, I've been busy as fuck. Double the work, half the pay, and still smashing it anyway. It's been a rough one. But I've got Conan servers, June servers, ESO content, website updates, second YouTube channel, extra streams during the day. I'm doing fucking loads, dude. And tomorrow is officially a day off day. So, playing in the sand all day, I think. There's survival in the chat if you want to see the new YouTube channel. I do need followers on that one, otherwise I can't fucking monetize it, so that's working for free right now. But if it gets to 1,000 and then gets decent watch time, then that will be open. It's June day, it fucking is. Who needs friends? I got an achievement saying who needs friends? Not me. I'm joking. No, don't. Fuck them. Splat. They'll probably slow me down anyway. I keep telling myself. This is still just as easy as it was. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to save. Oh, I have to. Did the Mundustone even land? Oh, it did. Felt like I wasn't critting enough there. Dead before the beam gets fired anyway. Magical Madness with no ground-based abilities. Fantastic. Mind you, it'll take any AoE ability, so the Tentacle or the Beam should fire it. And Swift Gale. Fucking rip. Jesus fucking Christ. That hit 270k then. 200 at the end of it. Yuck! We're doing on the second channel, survival games. So, Conan, Dune, Ark if it happens. I did have a server for that. I've got multiple servers as a G-Portal partner for lots of different games, so focusing on that stuff. EVE Online as well, back into that. After many years away. Reroll, reroll, reroll. Bastard well trained. Keeps giving me that. Ah, Adaptive Conqueror, really? Right, we're going to throw out and then we're getting the fuck out of here. So I'm busting for a pee and my belly hurts. Well, check it out. Thank you very much. At the moment, it's mostly VODs from survival games. But there's a couple of guides on there. There'll be a lot more in the future. I'm just way, way behind on fucking everything at the moment. Trying to play catch up. All About Mechanics needs more. The builds need more. The website needs more. Fucking everything needs more. And we've got fucking McForearms. Let's go. Ow. That is a horrible bleed. Really horrible bleed. Chip build. Imagine it being so busted by a patch update that happened today on PTS. Nuking it from space is terrible. Don't even play it. Forget it. BFG in the chat. Smugfucker. No. Just proving a point. You could imagine when the frequency of gaming changes across multiple, it'd be tough to keep up with. It is. Yeah, the build sucks. 100%. So, you know when people go, oh my god, everything's dead. It's really not. It's really not. And you're in the right place to find that stuff out. Still works. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine designing something based on the game design. And when they alter something because they decide it's way too fucking powerful, it still functions fine anyway. All it's doing is going back to its original design, which it's still holding on to anyway, with an extra button. Oh no. I mean, previously, the first version of it didn't have a banner because it didn't exist. Then it didn't have subclassing because it didn't exist. Now we've got a banner and subclassing because it exists. And now they're making us cast one more tentacle at the same time. Oh no. It's unacceptable. How dare you give me something that feels like an active spammable that puts immobilization and damage and a heal out all at the same time. Terrible. Boing. Boing. Whatever will my thumb do if I have to have an extra button? Don't worry, I've got that covered. I've put it on the shoulder button.
Your fight's more interesting.
Your thumbs are good. No more wear and tear on that. Yeah, the new update stuff, it's hit and miss. Some of it is obviously very, very necessary and in its early teething stages. Other stuff is what it is. Stuff comes in and stuff goes away again. It just, over time, they nitpick over certain things that need to be looked at. And sometimes they hit it straight away and sometimes they don't. As it stands, I feel like we're very much in its, I hate to use the term, but it's very much in its alpha stage as far as the testing is concerned. Because I do think they're going to massively adjust the ulti stuff. But they have to start somewhere. So it is what it is. But that nerf was coming. It's not a nerf, it's an alteration. If it was a nerf, they'd take away Cruxes completely. What they've done is they've just made it so you can't double stack something that does the same thing. But that does give us opportunity to use different scripts, which means you're not tied to the class. Which means technically, if you had a different character, you could play the same build on a non-Arcanist and use their class script instead. Shocking! That was a huge hint, by the way. Boing. Not to say that's definitely happening because we've still got weeks left, but that's how difficult it is to adapt. Quite frankly, it's not. If you understand the game and you understand the build already, altering is not that difficult. It's problem solving. Some people panic, some people try to figure it out. BFG, great build, by the way. Thank you very much indeed. Dude, we used fucking 10 of them in trial the other night. It was disgusting. Valero didn't even get to a second phase. Nuts. Well, technically the ghosts came out, but that was it. They did Hellra in like ninjas from the stream and Group Finder did Hellra in like 11 fucking minutes. So that nuked, it was disgusting, dude. Disgusting. You get people that eventually over time are good with the mechanics at the same time as using that. And filth. We even did VSS with, I think it was almost 10 BFGs, 1 feed, and a tank. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. They got to the point where only 2 tombs appeared. 2. I'm pretty sure downstairs they could have got over 2 people. Well, yeah, anyone can do that. No, anyone can't. People with less experience can't, but that they can. They came out and went, boo, they fucking did. So, you need to have 175k DPS, bro. No, you don't. I'm having that anymore. Boing. 1, you don't need that anyway. And 2, rip. They knew that was going to happen, though. After update 46, they knew that people were going to come up with stuff that was absolutely off the chart fucking bonkers. And they kind of let you just roll with it. They needed to see that in order to find out where the line is. And to be fair, with the adjustments so far, it's not going to destroy a lot of it. Mildly adjust it, sure. Bring some of it down, maybe. Fix some issues that exist, also, yes. Destroy it, not a chance. They are built upon the foundation of choice, the characters in the game and the classes are, but they've decided that because people are defaulting on a large scale, they're going to alter it. So less default, more options. They don't give you subclass and so you only play one way. They give you subclass and so you take advantage of options. And it felt like people were too many default one setup and well, they changed it. I'm surprised they haven't hit Burning Light yet, but I'm pretty sure they will. Boing, boing. I mean, even if they change it to just class abilities, that would still affect it. Oh, that was Stoat, by the way. She's dead. Storm projection? No, reroll. No, reroll. No, reroll again. Aww. That's actually such a cool feature. I didn't like the idea of it to start with because I thought they were conforming to Winges, but the way that they've made it, that's not that bad. Because RNG still sucks, and they still keep giving you the stuff that you didn't take. So, in each one of those, if you don't take the buff that's there, it's going to keep popping up eventually until you take it. The rerolls look like they give you 5 different individual ones, and then you're going to run out of money anyway. So, fuck it, we're getting out of here. We don't need to score, we're on PTS. Why does it fucking matter? The build is still perfectly bloody fine on day 1. You just have to do this one more time. And that's it. And we've got the weapon and spell damage back off of the Grim Focus. That isn't there anymore. It was 400. It's now nothing. We've still got that because we just changed the script. To give us up to 450 extra weapon and spell damage. If we've got speed buffs. So, fuck it. It's still an absolute powerhouse. Anyway, people, I gotta go. Thank you very much for watching. I hugely appreciate support. If you are not subscribed on YouTube or following on Twitch, hit the buttons. They are free. Furthermore, if you want to help support outside the channel, there are links in the info section for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the website zonagaming.com, Patreon, Throne, Buy Me a Coffee, and merch. This will be on YouTube in the next couple of days or so in case you missed it. But tomorrow is my day off day, and that starts now. So no calls, only money. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.